He's way too tiny to see. Oh, now you have to.
What
know,
civs he picking?
You have to know your Chinese
Know those
characters,
symbols.
and you have to know, and you have to know the symbols. It's Malians. All right, so I will spam the refresh button. And we'll be getting right into game number 1 here, Yo versus Hera. Both of these players are 1-1 apiece so far in this tournament, so whoever wins this will be making themselves into the positive overall win rate, which will be very good for them going on. But here will be our higher seed, Mr. Yo in the blue, as the Malians to the east of the map.
And over towards the west in the red, we do have Hera playing as the Aztecs.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Both players losing their first set, but then coming off of some nice wins on their second set. Both going, I think, 3-0, if I recall correctly. I don't know. That's yesterday. That's way too long ago. Anyway, so, of course, it's Arabia. Aztecs, very, very popular civ. They're like the, you know, the old school, I guess. Yeah.
They've been around a long time now. Pros particularly have a lot of playtime with them. They know how they handle. The meta has changed a bit, but very, very good grasp on how they should play.
Yeah, certainly. And then Malians, one of my favorite Arabia civs. I think they're actually kind of underutilized. I think they're just like absolutely top tier because you can pretty much do anything with them, and they're incredibly strong throughout most stages of the game until like super late post-imp. But before then, you can pretty much do anything. You have that wood discount, you have the faster working gold miners, you have the men-at-arms that are a bit tankier to archers and stuff. And they're just so flexible, and they can adjust their toolkit based on how they need to deal with their opponent. Aztecs, though, have like maybe 1 or 2 bad matchups. Like, they have such a good matchup spread, in my opinion.
Having a look at the maps as well, I am kind of starting to favor Hera here a little bit with these 2 extra golds in the back. The only thing I'm not liking is how open this front section is. Will take a little bit to kind of wall off, but compared to Yo on the other side of the map, there's this big open section towards the north here, and this is going to be huge for him to be able to hold. He's got his 2 extra golds in there, he's got 2 stones in there. If that gets locked down by Hera, Yo can be in a lot of trouble very, very quickly.
Yeah, that is not pretty to say the least. I guess he can kind of wall the south side of his base fairly easily. You can just like go here and then here or something, but this area here, it's going to be where all the action's going to be. Both secondary golds and both stones there. And when you have an aggressive civilization like Aztecs, this can really put Yo potentially on the back foot. So maybe Yo himself is going to go and try for something aggressive. No boar laming, obviously, in this tournament. And like you were saying, Hera's map, it's fine. Not the greatest map ever, not the worst.
That's it. I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. As the game kind of goes later with those 2 back golds, it will be a little bit kind of helpful towards him.
Oh no! Hera!
Oh, wow.
Oh, he must be taking luring coaching from DauT.
Oh, are we seeing the block? And the block?
You're not allowed to do that, right? Are you?
I feel like you're allowed to block, you're just not allowed to steal the ball with your scout.
Oh no, wait! What? Why did the board de-aggro?
Oh, wow, that was huge. Yo is out for blood today.
Yeah.
And look at where it's landed as well. That is not an optimal ball lure there for Hera.
No, Hera.
He's 1 villager down, non-optimal ball lure. Oh, I wish I was watching Yo's point of view then. I just wanted to see his face as that happened and that unfolded. So let's jump into the POVs for a second here as well. See how everyone's actually dealing with this.
Speaking of...
oh, he's still got the Christmas mod on. I love you so much, Yo. Look at those little fancy bushes.
Oh, I think Hera does too, actually.
Oh, that
but
makes me
did
so
you see
happy.
the picture yesterday where it was like Yo smiling when he saw DauT's transport ship?
I
That was
did.
an absolute gem.
Definitely one of the things where the player cams in here, especially when they're synced up, when we can get them as good as possible. It just gives you so much more insight in terms of what they're actually doing and what they're thinking.
Yo is a little over 2 villagers ahead right now.
I'm going to put you back in here right now, just on your point of view. If you have a look down towards the back of Hera's base, Yo's looking for the second lame.
Oh, lamer boy. You know, rules say you can't steal boars, but I guess you are able to block villagers.
I'm going to push you straight up to the north now, on top of Yo's base as well. We've actually got Hera looking like he's waiting there with the Eagle Scout. Looks like he's trying to get some revenge. Oh, it's about to be micro war. Both players are going for the lane.
Both players are going for it, but Yo, I think, is going to be able to get in just fine.
Hera's timing seems a bit off.
Hera's timing's a bit off, but Yo also not able to block himself, so I think both players will be able to get their boars without any issue. But look at that discrepancy with the villagers. It's like 2 and change villagers in favor of Mr. Yo. And yeah, Aztecs are a super fast, aggressive civ, but so are Malians. And I would love to see an aggressive follow-up here from Yo.
Oh, there's no way he's not going to. He sees it. He knows he has this kind of advantage. He's been around long enough that he can read this so well. The barracks is already coming up from him as well. Hera's scouted it, but at the same time, I feel like this was pretty expected. So the ball's basically in Hera's court here. If Yo can keep putting in the damage, do what he needs to. And the only thing I'm worried is this might actually kind of throw Hera off his game a little bit and really kind of affect his confluence. Let's jump into his point of view for a minute as well.
Yeah, we are seeing the 21 pop men-at-arms from Yo. Malians can do just about anything as an opener, but that is about one of the more aggressive openings out there. You can see Hera just trying to stabilize himself just a little bit. Barracks almost complete for him. Yo's already clicked up. Hera, he's even having to make another villager. Actually, if we switch to his PO or his resources at least, well, you guys can see it.
We'll swap back to you.
Okay. Most importantly, I couldn't see it at that very second, and I'm the one in control. So, 4 villagers over to gold?
Okay.
What is this madness?
All right, this... I'm not sure what he kind of really wants to go for here, because we've got Yo, he's already most of the way up towards Castle. Are we going to see... I'm actually a little bit kind of stuck on this one. Second lumber camp does get thrown up, but Yo's starting to get his militia out as well, so he's just going to be out ready to go across and start doing some damage. What are your thoughts here?
Looks like maybe one villager is going forward. That does appear to be the case. This is definitely going to be a very aggressive opening. Out of all the players in this tournament, I would say that Yo is like the one who's most likely to go for tower aggression, because we just see that a lot from the Chinese and Vietnamese players that I know I end up casting all day long. But look at this, 50% feudal age difference. Yes, almost certainly Hera will be going for some amount of militia, but it's going to be a pretty tricky defense as the men-at-arms are going to be coming in here, and likely a forward tower as well. At least one, but Hera does have these nice quick walls.
The good news is for Yo as well, he does have quite a bit of scouting information. He knows about one of the back golds, but not both. Knows about both of the stones there, so if he does want to get super aggressive here, he will know. Hera has spotted the full drush coming in now, so he should be in a relatively good spot to kind of hold this one off. He's got most of his walls up, just needs to be careful with his lumber camps now.
Oh yeah, definitely. This thing is going to be really rough. I actually didn't even see it first. The 4th militia, soon to be men-at-arms. This is like about as aggressive an opening as you can get. We have the watchtower on the way. Quick gate, but gates have no armor. These men-at-arms are coming around, and they should be able to tear down this gate quite quickly. Somehow they're like stacking on top of each other. You'd think that this guy is just stabbing this guy in the back, but somehow no. Look how low HP that is already. But still, the gate goes up, and now it does have some amount of armor.
Oh, loses the Eagle Wolf Scout there as well.
That is not what you want to be doing.
This is not what we want to see from Hera
the tower
this
coming
early.
in, though. But
double range?
Can he do anything? Double range, obviously. Like, you go for 4 villagers on gold right away, that has to be, like, a very fast double range. But he's now pushed off of the gold, and that is not what you want in this scenario. Other golds are over here, and over here you see Hera going to the one in the far back, but this is so rough here for our red player. Is able to stag the scout cavalry, so that is something.
Yo back at home as well, even preparing for any kind of counter we could see from Hera. He's actually already got an outpost up. He's thrown up an archery range of his own, so he's starting his transition personally as well. So this isn't going to be the end of the aggression here. This tower, forcing away from the gold, it's just going to get all villagers away from the town center and going to make them even more susceptible to a big raid here. Yeah, remember guys that Malian men-at-arms on top of this have that 1 extra pierce armor, so the archers, until they get fletching, are only dealing 2 damage a shot. So yeah, the archers will poke down these men-at-arms eventually, but it's going to take a fairly long time. So unless, the men-at-arms run into the TC, like if I were playing, then they could still probably cause a bit of idle villager time or something like that. Hera even deleting these quick walls as these men-at-arms make another loop around. We've got the full walls coming around the tower for Yo as well while he walls up his base defensively. He's played this so well. He's read the matchup. He knew he got the kill on the villager, played it aggressively behind that, and he's not easing up here. He's made life hard with this tower, spreading Hera out across the map. He's using this time to wall himself up and make his transition extremely safely. I'm absolutely loving this play. The militia or men-at-arm is bugging out right now. Like, if it should have attacked this palisade gate along with its 2 brethren, but it didn't. And I think that was literally the difference between this palisade gate going up and it dying instantly. That was really unfortunate for Yo. As you noted earlier as well, we've got these archers still just walking around. They're looking for a way to get rid of these men-at-arms, but they are just so tanky. We're only just having fletching come in for Yo now as well. Hera hasn't even really been able to begin to think about it.
Yeah, it's just so tricky. The stone miner's going to be on the way here for Yo as well, so he will be able to make additional towers. I'm pretty sure he still has his villager forward.
Yes, he does. Just building houses, trying to keep it as active as possible.
Oh yeah, good stuff as far as that goes. And yes, again, these men-at-arms aren't likely going to kill anything else, but they're just so annoying, and Hera has to focus all of his attention on them and not, you know, taking random hits from them. And it's just buying time for Yo to wall up quite comfortably, and still just going to be so chillin' right now.
He's even got skirmishes coming down to join the fight here as well, which are going to make things very hard for Hera. It's really going to start putting the pinch on. He did have a way to deal with his men-at-arms. Now the skirmish is going to come forward. Not really the trades Hera's looking for.
Definitely not. There's still 2 men-at-arms alive, and they are getting the occasional hit off. I mean, these guys are tanks, man. But in come the skirmishers. Remember, this is fletching versus no fletching. Yo, going to be trying to get some snipes on these archers, keep the archer count low. Hera able to slip and slide away. But, I mean, the skirmishers aren't going to be very threatening against all these villagers.
Hera actually did produce an extra Eagle Warrior behind this, or Eagle Scout, I should say, at this stage, still behind this one. He is actually scouting out Yo's base, so he does have an idea of what's going on there. He's noticed his opponent is just about fully walled. I'll check that out really quickly if you want to keep on the game here. Just see if Yo's actually missed this one.
Even so, I don't think one Eagle Scout is going to make too much of a difference. The good old box formation coming in with these archers. And yeah, I mean, they can eventually poke down these skirmishers, but this is just causing more and more idle time here for Hera. Yo, just consistently 2 villagers ahead. And yeah, he even has, like, just being able to deny this main gold is so nice. And this gold is going to be super hard to take as well. Oh, look at this sneaky, sneaky tower. Switch to Hera's POV and see if he can see it.
Oh, he can with those archers.
Very, very clearly. He did grab Town Watch. I did forget about that, you know, a little bit ago. So the villager is going to have to run away, but isn't going to die. At least I don't... Well, actually, no, the archers will kill him.
Yeah, that's it. We've got more Eagles actually out in the map at the moment as well for Hera. Going to be able to use them to put some pressure on the skirmishes. Skirmishes, of course, trying to take the engagement under the tower, so they at least get a little bit of extra bulk damage in that.
Yep, skirmishers are, as it happens, absolutely horrible against Eagle Warriors.
You don't say.
Yeah, to say the very least. But the tower is going to do whatever it can. Still, though, Hera's cleaning up all of this army from Yo, and the kill-death ratio is actually still massively in his favor, even though Yo's economy is stronger. Let's check to see what Castle Age times are going to be looking like. Because Hera, if he gets a market, can click up pretty soon. Yo, meanwhile, actually likely going to be a little bit slower. I guess that is just going to be the power of Aztec farmers right there, because Yo's just been at a consistent 2-villager lead for a good portion of this game. And Hera, meanwhile, has the nice army of archers right here.
And like you were mentioning, Hera having a lot of gold in the bank there. He's actually throwing down an archery range just towards the west of his gold there. So he will be looking at moving up very, very quickly.
Wait, you mean a market?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, is he going triple ranges in Feudal Age? What is this madness? Okay, no, that makes more sense. Hera is indeed going to be a little bit faster in clicking up. Defensive Watchtower now on the way here for Yo, who's going to be stonewalling behind this. He's still a little ways off, but with the market power, he should be able to click up in not too long. But I think Yo recognizes that his opponent's going to be faster up to Castle Age, getting all of these contingency walls down. And I think a transition into Knights should be very good. They'll be okay against the archers and will obviously wreck any Eagle Warriors.
Hera as well has clicked his way up, like you were saying, did make things very, very easy, keeping that archer production up now as well. The transition from Yo, as you were saying, going to be a little bit slower here, but when it comes down to it, Hera is still completely forced out around his base. He's got a lot of area he does need to cover, so if the Knights get in with that mobility, should be able to do a good job raiding away.
Yeah, Yo doing a really nice job making sure he is completely walled, has clicked up the Castle Age, will be a little under 50% of the way slower. Eagle Scouts, I guess, just living up to their name and scouting, but what's Hera going to be doing? Is he going to do a more Eagle-focused transition or a more Archer one? And clearly it's going to be an Archer one.
Yeah, I was looking at what he was building up there, and it seems like it's really kind of committing to that.
So yeah, we'll be seeing Archers versus Archers. I thought you would go for the Knight switch, because it would be better against the Eagle Warriors. But no, he's going to be going for Archers. Malians can throw down a cheaper University and get a very quickly researched ballistics and, potentially get a nice little timing right there. But you can see with the military counts, that is still massively in favor of Hera with taking the better trades and having the faster production.
Hera's done a really good job to pull him back into this game now. He just needs to move in, get a couple of villager kills, and with that, he'll start really pulling himself back ahead.
Oh, this could be a huge trap here from Hera. Look, right in the middle of the map.
Oh,
little bit of micro attempt here from Yo, forward villager. Again, Yo's not too worried about it. It's just trying to get the villagers or the archers he can. will be forced away. Did take some decent trades all around. The Archer's timing was a little bit off, but now with the Eagle Warriors coming in as well, it should be at least pretty straightforward cleanup. Actually, I don't like the Eagle Warriors sticking around there, but most of Yo's archers are now dead. The military count overall is fairly even, but Hera is the one with the faster castle age. Forward Siege Workshop coming in as well. And I wonder what Yo is going to be doing, because he needs to be able to keep up with his opponent's military.
This is really good. I was starting to get worried that Hera might be a bit shaken after the start he had here, with Yo just getting such a good advantage in the lane. But it's nice to see that Hera acknowledges the fact that he needs to play this one aggressively, and he's got the confidence to play it out that way.
Yeah, certainly. Second TC also on the way for Hera, so typical for him, he's not going to go for like a 1 TC all-in. He is at least going to have some sort of macro behind this, and he's in a pretty good spot here offensively. Siege Workshop coming in defensively for Yo himself. That makes plenty of sense. Second TC and even third TC on the way from him. Yo is going to just boom this one out, and you know, why not? He's pretty safe at home.
Well, he's even got half stone walls up at this point. In fact, more than half stone walls. So he's feeling very confident back at home. Gets a mangonel out or something. He can hold most of those archers quite easily. So it's just about trying to outboom his opponent now.
Yep. Nothing from the Siege Workshop for Hera. He built the Siege Workshop, but he hasn't built anything from it, so that's a little bit strange.
It's just there to be scary.
Oh yeah. Skirmisher dying to the town center though. And crossbowmen making their way around here for Yo. I don't think they'll be getting a ton done, as there is that town center right there. Just trying to be a little bit annoying. Meanwhile, Hera, again, looking with a small group of his own crossbowmen. Both players certainly wise to what's going on. Villager count now pretty much totally even.
I'm just looking back towards Hera's base. We've got Yo really trying to find someone to do some damage here. Really kind of not happening at this stage. Hera kind of just cruising around looking for somewhere as well. Towards the north of Yo's base, and that wood line, that's probably somewhere he can kind of poke in a little bit, try and do some damage over the tree line there. As for Hera, he's got his TC up in the back. There's still that gold mine over in the back as well. There's potentially unguarded, but the outpost is up, so he should see anything coming. Third town center up on the stone there as well.
Yeah, at this point, Yo will likely climb a little bit ahead in economy, but it's not going to be too big of a difference, especially since Hera is going to have the power of those Aztec farmers, who, with their extra carry capacity, just magically end up farming really fast with some voodoo AoE math. But Yo going to be going the big old long way around for this counterattack, all the way around this way. But with the outpost and the TC here, I think Hera should be pretty okay in terms of defending it.
Hera's looking for a little bit of an assault here on the top at Yo, and looks like he did get the mangonel for free there as well. Lost a little bit of HP, but it will survive. Yo popping out a couple of archers, trying to whittle it down, but he's just not going to get there, sadly. So Hera going to be able to keep the pressure up on these archery ranges.
That is certainly going to be the case. And again, there's the stable. I think Yo would want to switch into Knights eventually, and yes, he is going to just right now. And
we do have a quick pause from the players, however. Both of them
How do you know it's a quick pause? It could be
because I'm an optimist.
A catastrophic game-breaking pause. Oh no, but I don't. At least I hope this shouldn't be too big of an issue, as Hera in a pretty good spot to make some damage happen.
There's a Nili. I think I've seen an overlay guy in there as well, just checking on what's happening on their end of the spectrum here. And basically, Hera's just got to kind of keep this aggressive up. Did land some good hits with his crossbows as well towards the west of his base. So looking pretty good there in terms of what he's actually dealing out. Just needs to be careful with these crossbows sneaking around from Yo, that it doesn't get onto his gold in the back here or really kill off any of his villages on stone. But keeping a good eye on the mini-map with that outpost should be able to keep it going pretty easily.
Yeah, certainly. And you know, these players are just trying to poke away at each other. I think that, yeah, Hera has a slight advantage because ultimately both of these guys are now on 3 TCs and are just booming away, and Aztecs have a bit of a better boom. Hera has a large military. It looks like we have resumed the game. So I think the onus is going to be kind of on Yo to make some sort of switch. Obviously, the stable is up. A knight is on the way. But, you know, without Bracer, Malians need to do something in like Castle Age that isn't.
He's got a second and third stable coming up behind this one as well, so Yo really looking to commit here, feeling relatively confident. So he's going to get in, hopefully deal with this mangonel. I guess he kind of moves around the crossbows at this stage until he gets a big enough bulk. Either stays at home. Ooh, that low HP mangonel.
Mangonel hit for Yo right there. Crossbowmen coming on in. Villagers have been evacuated safely, but little bit of better micro there for Hera, like we were saying. Hera, very strong micro from him, and hasn't lost a crossbow just yet. Oh, look at that pretty micro there from Hera. Killing 2 crossbows for free right now, is now sending the gold villagers back. and the villager count is dead even. Both players actually gathering some amount of stone. I think Hera might want to drop a forward castle at some point, especially to take control of this area that we were saying at the beginning was ever so crucial. But something I'm interested in, what is the resource commitment for Yo? Okay, so he is probably making quite a few knights here. He's getting a lot of upgrades.
We've got bloodlines, we've got husbandry, both coming down as well.
Yeah, and Ram actually on the way for Hera, so he really wants to make something happen. Yo only has the 2 villagers on stone right now, so I guess he's not too close to a castle.
A 4th stable from Yo as well. He is ready to commit.
Oh wow, yeah, that is the number 4 of those stables. Oh no, man, and like the thing I really like about Malians is you can make these transitions fairly easily because you have these the cheaper wood cost on the building. It's kind of like Chinese, and the cheaper tech costs kind of has the similar effect of you can go for these somewhat different army compositions and make these switches happen. Also, although Hera does have the larger army, Yo's is all clumped up together. Hera's seems a little bit spread apart. Yo put 1 crossbowman, actually has 1 like chilling on top of the tower somehow. Magic.
The magic of cinema. But Yo, again, looking for somewhere to kind of use these crossbows, get some worth out of them before the night switch really does come in. He hasn't moved anything across the map yet. He hasn't given away anything in terms of the stables or the switch that is coming yet. We do have Yo also expanding out. Looks like he wants to start locking down these extra golds, these extra stones towards the other side of his base as well. But battering ram out for Hera. Looks like he just wants to clean up that watchtower next to his gold there. And it looks like he's throwing up a castle behind this as well.
Yep, that makes plenty of sense. Yo does have the high ground, but Hera now has ballistics, so that should give him a big advantage in this crossbow fight. Both players have lost 2 so far, but I imagine Hera will be chasing Yo away, and that is indeed the case. Some knights coming down here. They do have bloodlines and +2 defense, but that's still quite a lot of crossbowmen with the ballistics tech. And Hera is just about to click to Imperial Age in just a second, and Yo should be very, very far away. Okay, he's not like completely far away, but you can see he's spending a lot of his food on these knights. And yeah, like I was going to say, 4th TC makes sense for Yo. When you're committing this much to Castle Age military production, it makes sense to try and get that 4th TC and really get a big economy going when you get into Imperial Age. But Hera should have a nice early timing with Arbalest where he can make something happen.
I'm even really liking the way Hera's laid out his base too with this castle here. It's going to make raiding very, very hard for Yo, especially when he's only got the +2 armor on those knights as well. They will soak up a little bit of damage, but in terms of the way everything's sitting there, he's going to be able to just stream those knights in, and Hera's going to be able to either garrison or just deal with those very, very easily.
Look at this micro on the left-hand side here for Hera, killing all of the crossbowmen. Mangonel likely going to die as well, just able to really, really, get in close on the Mangonel and prevent it from having the range to kill the crossbowmen. And yeah, still no Imperial Age quite yet here for Yo. I mean, he has 38 farmers, so he'll get there pretty quickly. And here we see actually a switch intact over to the Eagle Warriors here from Hera. It makes sense since Eagle Warriors are going to be probably the Aztec strongest unit. But they don't do that well against the cavalry, so we'll have to see how this works out.
Alright, knights are just about to hit the base now for Yo as well, so Hera's going to have to be very, very careful here. Looks like he has seen what's going on. He's got the outpost up there, and waiting to see the garrisons. Has evacuated the farms down towards the side. Looks like he's keeping everything relatively safe, but look at this. All the villagers are going to get caught there by the knights.
Yeah, this is actually really huge right now because it's at this perfect time when Hera's not quite to Imperial Age yet. He doesn't have these Eagle Warrior techs in, and this is just such a good timing. That's like 10 plus villagers down already. More and more knights are coming in. I don't think the ones on the right-hand side... Well, actually, this mill is pretty exposed if you can get there, but the crossbowmen are there. Should be able to kill these knights pretty comfortably, but the thing is, Yo will now know that this Eagle Warrior transition is coming, and now knights from the left-hand side swooping down, shooting, getting shot at by the town center, but yeah, still with +2 defense and +1 attack, these guys are just such strong raiding units, and now Yo, since he is on 4 TCs himself, is in an incredibly good spot, but there is the Imperial Age.
Man, the layout for Hera is really, really good, but he just can't deal with this raiding right now. It's from so many different angles that he has no way of keeping those crossbows, and he's actually moving the crossbows out across the map now as well, as we have Yo streaming more knights into Hera's base as well.
Oh yeah, and now a monastery coming in for Yo, just take the routes, and he's on, remember, 4 stable knight production, and there's only even +1 defense coming in for the Eagle Warriors, so their upgrades are fairly underwhelming. Yeah, they're just Eagle Warriors with +1 defense and soon to be Squires. That is not like the world's most terrifying unit if you're with +1/+2 Knights. And there's the Imperial Age coming in for Yo. He has a strong economy, 111 villagers for him. Yes, Hera's army is way larger, but Yo's doing a brilliant job of just keeping Hera on his side of the map for as long as possible. But now that Yo's clicked up to Imp, he's had to stall his military production a bit, and he needs to defend while he makes the switch into Swordsman.
This is fantastic from Yo. If he can hold Hera back for just a little bit longer, gain that time to get up into Imperial, start getting his upgrades behind this, he'll be in a good spot to kind of hold this next push, which is about to come in. Hera actually starting to move back with his crossbows and regroup here, just while he waits for all his Eagle Warrior upgrades to actually pop in.
Oh, but look at this big catch here from Hera. No. Actually, only one Knight has gone down so far. That's pretty surprising. That's
really surprising.
Knights are quite tanky, as it turns out. So Hera still hasn't made the push happen quite yet. And the thing, like I was saying with Malians, with those cheaper building costs, the wood cost thing, you can really make those tech switches much more easily. And with the extra Pierce armor that Malians have, you can do pretty well versus the Arbalest, and obviously they'll just annihilate the Eagle Warriors.
Alright, the Eagle spam is starting to come from Hera. He's pushing in towards Yo's base. Starting to get a little bit of damage on that archery range there, but the castle will force them out for now. Yo's starting to get that swordsman line up and going. Just throwing up as many barracks as he can behind this, getting ready for the inevitable spam.
Making several Gebettos as well, interestingly. I'm not sure if that is the... Oh, nice play here from Hera, having the Eagle Warrior... the Eagle Warrior right by the Relic so that it denied the Monk. You're actually building a barracks over here, interestingly.
The raiding proxy barracks.
The raiding proxy barracks, indeed. Trebuchet, though, is on the way here for our red player. Yo, still 20% of the way from Imperial Age. The Longswordsmen are going to be good. We still don't have Elite Eagle Warrior in just yet. It's around halfway done. But there's still, I think, a pretty nice window where Hera can make something big happen.
Absolutely. He just needs to really kind of hit this one hard with the raid. He is starting to actually lock down this hill towards the west of his base as well. Getting a castle up there, going to defend his wood line and that entire flank side of his base.
But there's still the sneak barracks.
There is still the sneaky barracks. It's just moved a couple of feet away.
Yeah, just had to have a slight relocation right there. Anyway, there's several Gebettos here. I was wondering if these would be like a mainstay of his army or if they were just going to be for siege snipes. Now we do have Elite Eagle Warrior done, but two-handed Swordsman is on the way. Only one Trebuchet here just right now. Oh, the Gebettos are going for the snipe, and they will get it!
Fantastic.
Oh, Gebettos are so nice as like a utility unit. And unleash the swords! And here come the Long Swordsman. Two-handed Swordsman not quite done just yet. Even though both these units have 60 HP and 9 attack, remember, guys, that the Long Swordsman deal a significant amount of bonus damage to the Eagle Warriors. So they are going to be performing fairly well, even without the upgrade. But of course, on top of that, the upgrades are coming in as well.
We've got Hera again just trying to expand out his economy, find more and more room. But the proxy barracks is shut down by the lone Jaguar warrior.
And, well, Hera also doing a nice job collecting some relics. Obviously going to be very important as Aztecs, both players. Very similar economic numbers. Nice little bit of a raid here onto the gold miners by Hera. And, you know, he is at around a 900 score lead right now, but I kind of like the army of Yo a bit better. I'm not quite sure what Hera's transition is going to be. Is he going to try and switch into Jaguar Warriors himself to deal with all the swordsmen? He's making more Eagle Warriors. That's not the winning move.
Yeah, definitely not against this. Yo has literally prepared himself for this. On top of that as well, he's starting to throw out more castles around his base as well, really starting to lock it down, so if that raiding does come in, he has options to actually begin to deal with it.
Yes, certainly, and here we go. The Jaguar Warrior production has begun. A unique unit you don't see all that often, just because you don't see people make infantry versus Aztecs all the time. But when you need them, they are a great unit to have, and they will just absolutely shred through these swordsmen like butter. It means that there is going to need to be some sort of ranged counterpart here in the army of Yo. This is, I guess, going to be in the form of some mangonels for the time being. We'll have to see. There is this neutral gold here to the north that Hera is looking to take potentially, but now we have the champions done with their +8 armor, or soon to be.
Oh, these crossbows are in so much trouble right now. They're going to have to back up towards the castle, but even then, I'm just excited to see what these champions can do.
Oh yeah, champions, not a unit we see all that often, but you know, once the +4 defense comes in, these guys will have 8 pierce armor, just be taking almost no damage, just 1 damage actually from crossbowmen. But we see that the Jaguar Warrior switch is indeed happening, And like, they're so incredibly strong against infantry. Like, I'm pretty sure they would kill the champions in like 3, max 4 hits.
We've got a good play by Yo as well. He actually did find the economy of Hera down towards the south there on the lumber camp. Has denied most of that. Hera starting to feed a couple of Eagle Warriors into Yo's base. Really looking for somewhere he can kind of do some damage. Pull away from that eco a little bit more. In terms of the villager count, nearly dead even. We've got Hera on 139, Yo on 135. Military count actually a little bit further behind for Hera. But Hera really starting his transition nicely now.
Indeed, that's the case. The thing with Jaguar Warriors is that they do produce quite slowly. So you do have to have a little bit of time on your hands before you can get them up and running comfortably. Yo, also with the castle on the right side in this hill, it's really interesting because it won't come into play until like way later. It's just how Yo plays, and well, I guess that's where he felt like he needed to be. Didn't want to go too aggressive with the castle, but in come the champions here towards the base of Hera. Remember, champions so good at taking down buildings with arson, but we have Garland Wars on the way as well. We already have Elite Jaguar Warrior, so once these upgrades come in, they will just be shredding through the champions.
And look at this, just like you were saying, just a couple of hits is all it takes. They take them down so quickly, manage to deal with it. All he's got to do is try and stay under this castle for now. Even with the extra armor that we're going to have on those champions, it's going to help kind of whittle them away slowly but surely. Crossbows, again, doing their best to push them away, but Yo at the moment, he just can't get into the eco of Hera to really do any damage that he's looking for.
Ooh, Hera looking to build a castle here. I actually missed there was a neutral stone
there's
here.
a Treb on the way as well.
Oh, and the champions are here, and they are going to do so well. Like I was saying, guys, Yo is just such a strong player in these late-game scenarios. He is going to need some sort of non-champion unit to deal with all of these Jaguar Warriors, but right now, the castle of Yo is very likely to go up, and that cannot be said for Hera's castle.
It is a very big issue for him now. Yo, though, doing a great job locking down as many of these resource-rich areas as he can. Denying that castle from Hera as well is huge, taking that extra gold for himself. I'm not even sure what kind of play Hera can make to take that at the moment, because I haven't really seen him get to a point where he can try and get those trebuchets out, because he's so busy building Jaguar Warriors.
Indeed, and okay, yeah, Yo's trebuchet is a little bit ahead of itself right there, but even if that goes down, it's still, I think, like, the map control is slowly but steadily increasing here for Yo, and like I was saying, this guy's like long-term strategic planning is so good. He knows where the important points on the map are to take. This hill is going to be really annoying, and there's like so much wood here as well if this game drags on super long. And just through sheer numbers of champions and the Jaguars being pushed and pulled every which way, he's doing all right for himself. And it's still just champions and some Gebettos, I guess.
That's it. If he can use the Gebetto effectively here and keep raiding on through, use them to deal with as many of the Jaguar Warriors as possible, he's in a good place. The only thing I'm worried about is if he doesn't make that transition properly, and it's just champions going up against these Jags, but like you were saying, he just needs to whittle away the Jaguars quicker than he can whittle away all the champions.
Hera says if at first you don't succeed, try again, but the Jaguars get absolutely mauled, which is rather ironic considering the name of the unit. But, I mean, yeah, okay, Jaguar Warriors are really good against infantry guys, but they're not like a, 2 to 6 ratio.
That's definitely a big ask for most units.
Yeah, indeed. Now we actually have Farimba on the way, so maybe a light cav switch or cavalier. Hera is actually very well endowed with resources. Yo is as well, so a cavalier switch would totally make sense. And Hera's trying to go for a castle, and this is plenty of Jaguar Warriors with which to kill all of these champions. But the champions are actually doing a pretty nice job just trying to focus the villagers as best they can. But I still think Hera is going to be at least in an all-right position to try and retake.
They just melt away to those Jaguars. Once you have the numbers there, it doesn't need to be even, but once you've got the numbers, they do such a good job at holding these champions back. And here we go with Hera. Castle. Ooh, looks like it will actually get denied there for a second as well.
Oh, and look at this, Yo smartly trying to deny the relics. Oh, the trebuchet is still barely alive. Villagers trying to repair the monastery, trying to get rid of these 2 relics, and indeed, Yo is able to do that. Military counts are dead even. This is such a great game number 1 for this series. Now the light cav coming in, they're only going to be doing so well against the Jaguar Warriors. I mean, they have 20 base attack. Like that's a lot of damage. But here we go, castle coming up here for Hera. Yo not going to be able to take as much of this gold, but he is taking quite a bit of the stone, to be fair. Yo
really just looking for options at this point in time. He's got the light cavalry there to try and do some raiding, but the Jaguar numbers are up at the moment for Hera, so he will be able to start pushing it against this forward base of Yo. Gonna have to find a way to deal with it, but he's producing those champions so quickly. He's pop-capped up behind this as well, so it's just making things so difficult for Hera to push into.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Obviously abusing the defender's advantage right there, but on top of that, like the Jaguar Warriors are like spread out in terms of where they're coming from, and they're trickling in one by one. So despite having a terrible matchup versus the Jaguar Warriors, the champions are just able to muscle their way through just barely. And now we see Hera trying to reclaim these relics. He still has the score lead. He still has the superior army in a big straight-up fight, but he's just never really been able to take that fight that he wants.
The light cav rating, however, is about to begin as well. Like OrnLu pointed out before, they're up to a massive 7+7 attack on those, so going to be able to deal with the villagers quite efficiently here. Hera, however, started to get that army of siege rams together, and will start pushing down these barracks to try and nullify that defender's advantage.
And indeed, that should be very, very strong. That, like, now the Jaguar Warriors are all grouped up together, and the champions should be absolutely melted like butter. We need to see some Cavalier or something, I guess, because the champions are now going to be getting absolutely decimated. You just see how this is not a close fight whatsoever. And we have Elite Geppetto on the way.
We do, and I'm excited to see what he can do with this. The only thing is he has to hold on to these castles to keep his production up. Siege Rams coming in, there's not really a lot to stop them there at the moment.
Nope, the champions are going to be able to shred them if the siege rams get close, but at that point the Jaguar Warriors will just use the siege rams as covering fire, and you can just see how strong the Jaguar Warrior is in those situations where your opponent is making infantry. Also, I think Hera was able to grab the third relic. I saw him pick up the relic. I know it's going towards him.
It's around here somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, second castle up here for Yo. And this is going to be a very strong defensive position, and Geppettos are a really good defensive unit because they kind of act like archers, but they have 13 base attack, and they shred rams because they deal melee damage. So yeah, the Jaguar Warriors will do super well if they get in close, but it's kind of hard to with all of this infrastructure here.
Then we've got the bulk with the castles firing over it as well. It's not exactly a place he wants to be if he can avoid it as well, and the Jaguar Warriors' number is now just falling so quickly that Hera's got to find a way to keep the numbers back up.
Yeah, but Yo really, really struggling for resources right now. Hera, meanwhile, if I can hit the shift button, a little bit better, but still not as great as you might hope for. And look at this, the Jaguar Warriors are all dying. Hera's like committing way too much to this. He still has a massive numbers advantage. He's pushing on all sides right now, and his production queue is way bigger than that of his opponents. But it looks like Hera now is going to be the one taking all the map control. He's taking the gold on the left-hand side. He's just completely pushing Yo back on all fronts. Hera's playing this late game incredibly well.
He's got outposts up across most of the map as well, so if Yo does want to go for something, Hera will see it before it happens.
Yeah, and again, I feel like Yo stayed on champions a little bit too long, and I'm still not super sold on the Geppetto switch because I'm sure even like at Lattle skirmishers, because the Geppettos are so flimsy, will die, and that's exactly what Hera's transitioning to, so I think that's incredibly smart from him. And now it's just coming in with some pikemen, some Jaguar Warriors, and I feel like there should have been a ranged component here for Yo, like hand cannons ideally, like skirmishers or something. Anyway, Geppettos are still going to be trying to come in here for the raiding attempts, and Hera is going to be forced to pull away for the time being, but still we see a big lead for Hera.
Hera's done a great job of just taking map control here. Yo just struggling to leave all that infrastructure we were talking about earlier. He's got the two castles together there that are working really, really well to try and lock everything down. Trying to get some more actual, I guess, some raiding up over on the side there as well. Multiple stables coming up alongside those barracks and the siege that we've got there. But at the end of the day, I just don't know if he has the resources to really focus on the two fronts right now.
Yeah, another pause. Yo's smiling and chatting, and Hera's laughing too. So these guys are having a good time. They're having a really good game. Hera does have a solid advantage right now, but this game is very much swung back and forth, and it's really just been the good decision making of these players that have been able to, you know, find the chinks in their opponent's armor.
I think the big thing to be looking at right now is the fact that we've got Hera still locking down some of these resources. He's still got quite a bit of gold over towards the side there. He's got a little bit of stone to work with too. So he's not completely out and just relying on relics at this stage. He's got the most of the upgrades he's going to need for this fight as well. He's got his siege ram, he's got his Jaguar warriors, so upwards from there. It's just a matter of seeing if he can push behind this, and a lot of elite skirmishes being added to the queue now too.
Ooh, I see a trebuchet rock, and indeed we have a trebuchet starting to work away at this castle of Yo. Geppettos are going to be incredibly strong when it comes to sniping, you know, trebuchets, but still, this actually is like an almost pure trash army, and Geppettos are pretty good against trash. This, Lattle skirmishers do make me hesitate a little bit in saying that. We'll have to see how this fight turns out is some light cav are coming in, but the pikemen will deal with those very well, and just see how well the Gebettos do, I guess.
So we've got Hera again getting raided on the sides there. Yo's just trying to strip away any of these extra resources that he can use against him right now. Doing the best job he can there, but Hera just getting such an army at the front here. This is just going to be so hard to push into, and with those trebuchets, the trebuchets are engagement makers when it comes down to it. Yo can't sit under his infrastructure. He has to come out and face that on the field now. The Gebetto making their best attempt. They're going to hopefully try and... Looks like they're going to go around the side, potentially could look for some raiding opportunity here.
Yeah, I think that Hera is very much dictating this game right now. He has the extra gold income, he has so many resources in the bank, he's not really hemorrhaging too many gold units, and Yo is just completely stretched for resources, 0 gold income for him, just kind of relying on the power of Light Cav and Gebetto, which... it's...
Is it enough? The answer is probably not at this stage.
No, it's really not. Like, I just can't see a justification for the Gebetto switch, honestly. I feel like hand cannons or what's that unit called? Oh yeah, like arbalests or something.
Describe it to me.
I've been casting for quite a while now. So yeah, I mean, the light cav, if they get into the skirmishers, are certainly going to be able to do work, and the pikemen are no halberdiers, even with Garland Wars, but actually the army count is closing in. Somehow Yo is being able to buy enough time. The Gebettos are cleaning up the Jaguar Warriors with the power of Micro.
That's a huge fight there, one for Mr. Yo with those Gebetto. So little units lost to such an amount taken here as well. This is where the number switch really starts to come into it.
Look at this, the population has now been evened up. Yeah, Hera has a slight lead, but now Yo trying to push on in 2 fronts at the same time, some champions coming in. One castle was destroyed, but there is another one alive. And remember, in the late game, Aztecs do really struggle in that they can't have a food dump, so to say, in the form of light cav. So they're, you're making pikemen, you're making skirmishers, but there is no way to spend a ton of food if you have that. And Yo has 75 farmers for Farimba light cav.
This is insane. Yo also making the great decision. Every chance he gets, he's pushing down that monastery. He's trying to get those relics out of the opportunity for Hera to be able to make use to. And more raiding going down on the opposite side of the map here as well. Hera just needs to find a way to hold this one down, and the momentum has definitely switched.
Yeah, some siege ramps going to be trying to take down these trebuchets, but I think that the trebuchets should be fine. Remember that Gebettos themselves are pretty good at sniping buildings. Light cavalry raiding every which way here. Now Hera's population is starting to drop. Yo is just everywhere with these Farimba light cav. They just deal so much damage, and Hera is kind of being picked apart. Remember, his army is all infantry and archers. It's pretty slow.
Trebuchet as well from Yo. He's not even risking it in the fights. He knows how valuable this is right now. Hera, though, still 1.5k gold in the bank. He's got a lot to work with here. But the villager count right now, so low in comparison. We've got Hera dropping down to under 100. Yo sitting up on over 130. The military count, still a little bit of a win here for Hera, but the population just keeps plummeting for Hera.
Hera's bank is massive because he's been taking such cost-efficient trades for most of this game, and I really have to wonder, is Hera just gonna like max out?
Just survive this?
No, I feel like he's gonna lose a ton of villagers and just get to a huge army that Yo has no chance of stopping, and he might be able to steamroll him at that point. We'll have to see. I hear the relic sound, so Hera is still trying to reclaim those 3 relics. And the thing is, the pure army of trash is not that amazing for Hera. I think he does need to spend his gold on something. I'd recommend maybe Eagle Warriors, possibly, to get some raiding done of his own, because Yo's pretty safe.
Yo's looking great at the moment. He's just dictating the fight again. We've seen that switch of momentum just continually throughout this map. All it takes right now is Hera to kind of fight off the rest of the units around his base here. And like you said, make a switch into Eagle Warriors, something where it could be a little bit, I guess, pull a little bit more momentum, be a little bit quicker paced, and then push it out. But it looks like in the queue, we're seeing Jaguars, we're seeing siege ramps come up. Looks like Hera just keeps looking for that final blow, and he just can't seem to find it at the moment.
Yeah, I think what Hera really wants to be doing is just taking one big fight and just pushing Yo into oblivion, because his army count is so much higher because he has the, the lower villager count. But Yo is just not letting him take that one big fight. He's trying to push on every front at once, not let his opponent, who has the superior army, just completely steamroll you. And he's just barely trying to hang in there right now, but he's still, there's 0 gold income for him. Hera still has so many resources in the bank. It's going to be, I think, still a long uphill battle here for Yo.
That's it. No one... It looks like things are starting to change on the map, but in reality here, both players are still in a reasonably decent situation. No one's ready to call this one. Yo's kind of getting stuck towards his base now, but he's got another counter-attack moving in from the other side. He's got those elite Gebetto there, he's got the light cav moving in from the raiding, and he's got the trebuchet pushing forward as well, just looking for that monastery, get rid of the relics again.
Like, that is just so incredibly smart. Now it's just one pikeman and a bunch of skirmishers. Yo's done a very good job of keeping these Gebetto alive. And in the middle, there is a huge attack here attempted by Hera, but even just these few barracks here making some very, cheap champions. Well, champions themselves don't cost that much. Just trying to snipe those siege ramps, but that is a lot of pikemen. Even just a few Jaguar warriors can make all the difference, but still the military gap is closing. This is so much damage being done to Hera on the right side of his base.
The good news is, however, Hera has managed to snipe that trebuchet out of there, so he will keep those relics safe for now. But like you were saying, there's Elite Gabetto. Yo, he runs in with them, gets a little bit of ground, kills a whole bunch of units, runs out, keeps them alive, stays efficient.
Yeah, definitely. And Hera's resources are slowly but steadily dropping. There is no more gold on this map. This one was mined out, that stone was mined out, and this is really all these players are working with. Yeah, Hera's going to have the advantage with his relics, but to be fair, Yo does have the opportunity to research guilds and Hera doesn't, but I would still favor Hera going in. He still has the much larger army, castle under heavy, heavy siege. Yo has no stone with which to repair it.
We're just seeing a huge queue of light cavalry at the moment from Mr. Yo. He just needs to keep raiding, keep trying to pull Hera's army back. But like you were saying, we've just got so many rams here at the front. Hera just needs some army to back it up. The problem is he's been just trying to mop up Yo's army, which has been absolutely everywhere. So he just doesn't have this one large force he can actually deal that death blow with again.
Hera's starting to run a little low on food, and the gold is only going to be so much. And he still hasn't pushed down Yo yet. This is just a remarkable hold for Yo. And something I really have to give him credit for is this castle on the right-hand side. This was placed way, way early, and it wasn't guarding any gold or stone, and it might seem strange, but that castle being uphill has just really been allowing him to have that staging point to constantly attack Hera. But here comes our red player, and that is a big old army.
That is a very big force here that Yo just does not have the numbers with here. We've got siege rams behind it as well, so we will be able to start taking down that infrastructure, which is also important right now, and really just starting to restrict where Yo can actually build up his forces from.
Yeah, again, it's Hera just really, really trying to max out that military army number count. But the Gabettos and the castle here, he really does need those siege rams front and center. And the infantry numbers are actually kind of getting sniped by these Gabettos. They just deal so much damage from range. Light Cav coming in from the left side as well. And Monastery hasn't been sniped yet, but it is still in a bit of danger. Yo is somehow still holding on, but now the siege rams are in.
These siege rams are just going to cut through everything so quickly here. We're going to be doing a good job to actually hold them down and try and do that damage. But the thing is, the skirmishes can just cut through them so quickly because the Gabetto, they just have such low HP as well.
No armor and only 45 HP. That is really not a lot. And importantly, Hera is able to get rid of his opponent's relics right there. Still has the population advantage now, trying to get some lumberjacks. I guess there's still a ton of wood Yo can take at the south, and there's a ton of wood that Hera can take on the left.
Oh man, we've got Eagle raiding in the back as well. Hera's started to mix them in. Always nice to see. It looks like Yo is starting to clean them up now, though, but it was nice. Look at how many inactive farms we have there.
Yeah, Yo, with 17 idle villagers right now, he does have a fairly large army, but it's just not anywhere near as much as his opponent. Gabetto's coming in, Yo's just trying to kill this monastery the whole time. Both players realize that relic gold generation can be the difference maker in this game. Yo dropping a ton of villagers to those Eagle Warrior raids that are now coming in, like you were saying, but look at Hera, he's out of gold.
Oh no, if Yo can just continue to hold this one on. The thing is that he has to deal with this big clump of army towards the front of his base. If he can start pushing this back, he'll be in a good situation to start taking the map control back and look at that. But right now, Yo's just been pushed into this single quarter of the map now, and he needs to find a way to hold on. These siege rams are just doing their job.
But here's the thing. There's one pikeman left, and Yo's, I think, even focusing down the pikemen. Ooh, a trebuchet coming in for Hera. It does have siege engineers. Yo is going to need to do some market magic to buy some stone if he wants to keep this castle alive, which is incredibly important. But I was going to say, there really isn't that much infantry left to stop the light cav from just absolutely wrecking things, and Yo is, unfortunately for him, going to lose that castle. That is going to be a very big win for Hera, who's still trying to keep this monastery alive in the south. Oh man, and there goes the castle for Yo. These have been two big wins back-to-back for Hera.
That's it. All he needs to do now is start pushing through, hold on to the advantages he's got here. Like you were saying, it's just about mixing those pikemen back in, and we've got that huge reinforced mass of pikemen coming in here. So the light cav really won't be able to kind of push in too far and protect that trebuchet.
Yeah, Yo is down to only 2 castles right now, and they're not even in the greatest positions to defend the bulk of his farming economy. And you just have these pikemen, I guess, now coming in to raid. The fearsome pikemen raid. So deadly. And yeah, now it's going to be Yo who's completely on the back foot. Nice run around here with the light cav, though. Sniping that trebuchet, anything that Yo can do to buy time is going to be really, really critical for him, as he's just going to try and light cav his way to victory.
Hera is starting to push all the rest of the units out of his base though, so he's going to be starting to look pretty good. The opportunity here is for Yo to try and make something happen. Hera has cleaned up all the raiding, everything that was happening, so right now Yo needs to push this force back, or again, get into the raiding and just start distracting Hera again.
So the problem for Yo right now is just the villager count is more or less even, but Hera's been taking a slightly better trade. So the kill's death is actually in favor of Yo, but
look at
like
that military count though. We've got 40 extra
exactly.
units on the field for Hera right now, and it just makes it so hard for Yo to be able to push into anything.
Exactly, and Yo is just, you know, taking advantage of the fact that his opponent has just really been unable to make a big siege push happen. Liereyy actually might take down the barracks in the north after they destroy this very important lumber camp. But still, these Gebetos need to hang strong and need to be able to snipe those pikemen.
We did actually see Yo check out the path that the monks would have taken for Hera if they claimed those relics. Did actually get 2 snipes there on top of the monks as well, plus stop the relics going all the way across the map. They're kind of sitting about in the middle now.
Oh, yeah,
so Hera hasn't got them yet, and he did lose 2 monks on there, but it's just looking easier and easier for him to keep taking them.
Yeah, Hera is still just in a better position than his opponent. Liereyy are not going to be too happy about running right there. Still, though, that in the north is getting cleaned up, but Yo is just really struggling for military population right now. He does have a much larger production tab if you look at that. He's actually still making a lot more villagers, too. So I actually really like that, because this game, I mean, it could go on a lot longer.
Absolutely. Hera's starting to push out. He has actually saved up, got himself another trebuchet now. We'll be trying to take down this castle towards the eastern side of the map, take down this base, and this is where a lot of Yo's lumberjacks are now.
A lot of Yo's lumberjacks and possible wood income is here as well. Trebuchets both, whoa, the trebuchet got sniped by the other trebuchet, but another lumber camp being built. Yo needs this wood income right here, but this army is huge for Hera. It is around 100 military. He has almost doubled the army of his opponent. A couple siege rams coming in, but the Gebetos should be able to snipe that without too much issue, but still that is just so many skirmishers here from Hera. DauT would be so proud of him.
Second trebuchet gets put into the back as well. This castle's good. It's in a hill position here, but look at this. The trebuchet at the moment, the pikes are pretty much there ready to take it down. We've got the skirmishers moving in behind this one as well. The wood line's getting absolutely decimated. Yo trying to bring reinforcements in to help deal with this one, but the trebuchet gets sniped, and it looks like this castle will be going down now.
If only Yo had gotten the building HP upgrades, man.
It looks like Yo, though, making a smart decision here, actually looping the light cavalry around the back, but it looks like Hera knows what's happening here. He's seen this trick before. Hopefully he won't lose it. And oh, wow! Actually walls in around the trebuchet as well, denying a lot of those light cavalry from getting on top of it straight away.
Still, though, beautiful play there from Yo, able to snipe that trebuchet. I mean, it's kind of like a budget version of the Magyar Hussars in the late game that you just use to run around and snipe all of the siege when you're trying to hold on as Magyars, but similar principle here.
That castle stands.
The castle is...
The castle stands. Yo managed to push off that massive force from Hera. That's an amazing play of efficiency.
Oh, yeah, like, both of these players are playing so extremely well, but I think Yo is just running out of options right now. He is down 50 military right now, but Hera himself is struggling to maintain, you know, 200 population, but his bank still should be a lot greater than Yo's, who's actually running low on food because he only has 68 farmers. It's not enough for the light cav production he needs.
That is crazy to think about. Hera, though, as well, just still so much map control. Yo moving out, looks like he's looking for some more raiding here, and it just hasn't happened the way he needed it to thus far. Hera's just keep popping up behind this. There's another trebuchet out as well, so it looks like the castle will eventually come down, and that's pretty much the majority of the safe resource Yo has left at the moment. He's got some farms up around the side and just some small sections of wood around the sides, but apart from that, everything else is pretty much fair game.
This is actually a really unfortunate wood line for Yo on the right-hand side because a pond is blocking so much of it, but still, what's even more important than the wood income, at least right now, is the fact that the castle's going down and there is that strategic position that Yo no longer has available to him. But he has, what, almost 50 light cav queued up right now? Oh, I mean, he's going for it. Wait, he's absconded with a relic! Wait, how did that monk get all the way over there and back? That monk just went there and back again. A Monk's Tale by Monk the Monk. That's a new book, by the way. No response whatsoever. Turk is just so done with all of my caster jokes. Well, there's another pikeman raid coming at the north, though. What? 12 pikemen in box formation. The scariest army alive, apparently. But again, Hera is just marshalling this 117 military army that is going across the middle of the map. He does have the 3 relics. He can make these rams to supplement his army, and Yo is just doing everything he can to keep his opponent back, and I think Hera wins.
Hera does indeed win. Yo actually brought in some raids around the side, but it wasn't enough to hold on. Over towards the other side of the map, in Yo's economy, we just had Hera up in there entirely with a good bulk of his military, denying all the resource, and Yo had just lost too much ground. This may be one of my favorite games of the tournament so far. We're at day 3. We have a lot more days to come, but this is already a fantastic matchup.
I think this is my favorite game of the tournament so far. This game was amazing. Like, Hera's was able to get ahead, and that was just so impressive. But Yo was able to hang on for so long, but just Hera was a little too efficient with his defense, a little too strong with his macro and decision making, and indeed that will be Hera taking the win there. 5,000 more gold for him. That is obviously so huge in this scenario. Yo with 99% map exploration, Hera with 97. These guys absolutely everywhere. Hera with 3 relics. 3,777.
That relic gold
that
makes
lucky
such a difference.
777 gold. So good for him. And Yo tried so hard to snipe that monastery, but Hera's defense was just a little too strong. And Turk, that's just game number 1. Oh,
that's
whoops.
game number
Here's the
1
main
of a
menu.
best of 5 series. And we saw how close that was. This could go either way right now. So we could go to game number 5 with this very easily. I'm excited to see what happens. We will be moving into one of Yo's home maps now. He has the choice of Islands or Fortress Regicide here. Both ones that he's kind of a little bit, I think he feels a little bit better with. But at the same time, Hera's proven how good he is right now. We were saying Yo may have the advantage when it comes to late game, but Hera put up a great fight there and even took the game. Yeah,
that was, oh boy, good thing I wasn't casting. Good thing I wasn't casting a 3-hour series right before this one. Oh man, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. That game was just an absolute treat to watch, and these guys are both so strong, so closely matched, and we've really just, I think, a step up in quality of games, even compared to the last NAC. There have just been so many great games so far.
That's it. I'm loving the map pool. I'm loving the civ options people have got. There's just a lot for people to work with. There's so many less limitations. People are really playing at their best.
Oh yeah, and these guys are both playing so well. It's not that Hera won the game because Yo played poorly. It's just because Hera played just a little bit better than Yo, and that was definitely pretty impressive. And no, chat, I don't need a break. I'm fine.
It's good. We're just going to keep powering on, and it's going to be nothing but adrenaline-fueled mayhem.
Exactly, until the second this series ends, and then I'm going to go take a nap.
That's it, right? And then we just crash.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the overlay guy is...
A wind-up? Was that a wind-up signal?
He's saying, okay, I guess
Film.
we're going. I guess, sure, why not? But let's get into this here. And here is a classic for NAC 3 so far, a zoomed-in town center on the map Islands over here to the west of the map in the blue, as the Italians will be Mr. Yo, and winning the last game in a quite a grueling back-and-forth slugfest will be Hera in the red as the Vikings. Hera and I cast an Islands game last night with the same matchup, and he was pretty intrigued to see how the difference between the full water Italians versus the full water Vikings played out. So we'll have to see if Hera is going to learn the way of the longboat. Will he go for longboats this game? That is the question.
Having a quick look at the maps as well, honestly, I'm not seeing too much of a difference here. Both goals are relatively similar towards the center for both players, which is nice. They can't really get sniped from the water too much, which is kind of a nice thing to see overall. Then between it, good amount of hunt. The berries aren't... I guess the berries are a little bit closer towards the shoreline there for Hera, but I don't think it's going to matter kind of too much moving into this one, especially with Mr. Yo as well, not having... Well, I guess he's going to go for those fire ships.
Yeah, of course, he will be going for those fire galleys, at least to start off. We'll possibly transition into the regular galley/war galley later on. And the big question becomes, okay, is there going to be a landing? Hera almost completely unlikely to land. And I actually think Hera's map is not the greatest for Vikings specifically. If you went for a full back dock, there's only 3 deep fish here. That's really underwhelming. And even if he wanted to go for a side dock, so to say, if he tries to go down south, it's still not super amazing. And if you really want the good dock location, it's all the way over here, which is so far from his town center. Meanwhile, Yo, I think it's a much easier time building some docks over around these parts if he wants to go for the more economic approach, or he could just go full YOLO forward docks right here. It's really, the ball is in the, not the Viking, the other one, the Italian players' court, as Vikings, I think, we know what they're going to want to do.
Once they have the numbers,
yeah,
they're in a really good play. It comes into the micro, the ability they have with them. The hard part is just getting there.
Exactly. It's all about holding on in the early to mid game, either be it from a landing or from fire galleys, but once you can get those longboats up and running, it is just so strong. And then you have the Viking eco on top of it. But we'll have to see what these guys are choosing to do. Of course, early game Islands isn't going to be all that, exciting. There isn't a whole lot going on. Both players just trying to lure in some deer and whatnot. Notably, they are using villagers to lure and not scouts. That is indicative, at least to some degree, that Yo may want to go for a landing play. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Hera is also not luring with the scouts, because Vikings, I mean, you're almost always going to be wanting to go for the water play. Is this a forward dock? Hera, is this a forward dock?
What are you doing? All right, no, we'll see how this one plays out. I guess the big thing behind Islands as well, going to be on how actually accurate the build order is, how quickly you find your opponent from there. So in this, it just needs to be as clean as possible from both players. Hera particularly here. He's the one starting off on the back foot more than anything. He really needs to wait for those numbers, and if he starts to fall behind, it just makes it so hard to progress into the matchup that he really wants to turn this into.
Yeah, a little bit of a lucky break here for Hera is that Yo did go for the quote-unquote back dock, at least the dock that is next to the largest amount of ocean. So there's a little bit of a rush distance, as you can see here, from one dock to the other. Both players obviously just making the fishing ships. Yeah. Looks like Hera having to do a little bit of scout blocking of the boar, but that should be all good for him. And remember how that last game started? It started with Hera losing like 2 villagers in the early game.
And he came back.
Man, that was...
We thought he was in such a bad position, but just through some good, strong play, managed to bring himself in very quickly. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. Mostly because of the fact he's picked a civ where at the start, you're behind. And if he holds out like he did last time, has the same tenacity, the same confidence he went in with, he could be in a really good situation here as soon as he gets the numbers up.
Yeah, indeed. But I think, again, the question is, what is Yo going to do? Because normally we think, okay, it is a not Vikings player, they're going to go for a landing. But Viper proved yesterday you don't need to go for the landing play as Italians. And in that incredible game on Islands versus Liereyy. But we'll have to see. Hera, though, playing very safe, getting Loom, and not taking the lure with his scout. He is fully aware that his opponent could go for a big landing play.
Well, at least I like to see the fact he's got that confidence now as well to really kind of deal with all these situations, not kind of thinking he needs to kind of push a little bit too hard. He's happy to just play the way he likes to, the way he knows, and that's been something I've really enjoyed seeing from NAC, because he was a little bit shaky at the start of the tournament, I will say, in terms of the way he played it, but now I think he's kind of in his groove, he's found his way, and he knows how it feels to play on the LAN network like this.
Yeah, indeed, that's going to be the case. 4 fishing ships versus going to be 4 fishing ships, but a little bit faster of an uptime for Yo. That's not too crazy with Italians, going up with 24 villagers as Vikings just a little bit later. Not too surprising. I guess it's a little bit surprising considering he has the forward dock, so if Yo went like super aggressive, it could have really backfired, but looks like Hera will be just fine. Going to try and go for some galleys and hold on that way. No transport ship in the queue yet for Yo, just a second dock.
Glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Second dock getting thrown up for Hera here as well. So both players obviously going to be pushing up those docks as quick as they can essentially afford them and keep the production behind them. So my question is, how's Hera really going to try and stall out here until he can get the galley numbers he wants?
The power of micro. You just gotta believe in your power of micro, and I believe in Hera's micro.
I absolutely do. We definitely know he has some of the best micro here in terms of his actual abilities. Game knowledge is great behind that as well. So really, he just needs to hold out through the start here, and then he'll be in a good spot. A little bit later in the feudal timing, like you were saying, Italian's always in a good spot to get you up there eventually. And here comes a double galley production from Hera.
Yeah, so again, we're going to be seeing the same thing we saw yesterday. In case you guys didn't catch that Viper Liereyy series, well, 1, go and watch that. That was a great series.
That was great.
And 2, it is possible for Italians to take the fight to Vikings on water. It isn't like completely all hope is lost sort of thing. But in that game, we had both players going for the back dock. Here it's like one with a sort of back dock and one with a front dock. So comparatively, Hera has less time than Liereyy did in that game to get those galleys up defensively, and we'll see if that's going to hurt him as he has the slower uptime and the worst unit in lower numbers.
Yo also throwing up a third dock behind this one as well. Really wants to get that number advantage early on. He knows exactly how it works. Hera starting his one now as well, and Hera is off looking for his opponent already. We can see Mr. Yo's scout there, so he will see this one coming. Should have a good idea on where his opponent's basically set up is now as well.
Yeah, Yo kind of going in the wrong direction at first, but I think, well, you see where the galleys are, so he'll go in the right direction now. And I think Hera was actually a little bit on the late side with his third dock. It's just now finishing. I feel like that should have been, that should be started like just after you finish Feudal Age. But still, triple fire/regular galley production. Is Hera actually going to try and go for the fishing ship snipes, or is he bringing his galleys back home? Looks like he's bringing them back home, interestingly.
Well, I guess the thing is with the galleys as well, you really can't afford to be caught out of position with them, especially with the fire ships around. You really need to try and keep in as big a bulk as possible. Then you've got the best opportunity to micro them back, take out those fire galleys, and really buy yourself that time.
It is 4 galleys right now to 2 fire ships, but fire galley is not really attacking the same units. Actually, one going for the fishing ship, one going for the galleys, and Yo does need several more ships here. He has one kind of patrolling near his galleys, as the regular galleys are so much better at sniping fishing ships compared to fires. It's strange because both these units have the word galley in it. One just has a word in front of the word galley.
We even do have Hera getting fletching behind this one already as well, so going to put himself in an even better position to be able to micro versus this. And Yo, where are your numbers? It's just Hera's starting to get the numbers he wants now.
That's because Yo's making a transport ship. He wants to go for the landing. Wasn't able to just get in as quickly as I think he might like. And this is just amazing for Hera right now. And yeah, he's got the galley numbers. He's going for the very quick fletching like you were saying. And that's going to help so much versus these fire ships. Definitely a very big fan of that play. And now the question becomes, what is Yo going to do with his landing, and how well is that going to work? Because galleys can snipe transport ships really easily.
And they can also sit along the shoreline and help him defend any kind of push that comes in as well. So even once Yo gets those units across there, if he loses water, Hera's going to be in a great position to even push that back nice and quickly. And that transport ship's getting pushed all the way to the edge of the map now as well. Will Hera see it?
What? Why is Yo going in that direction? Here, we got to go to Hera's
Fog of War, I've got it open just in case.
Yeah, here we are. Hera, he didn't see the transport ship. Whoa.
That's so lucky for Yo now.
Look at this. And Yo, he has the fire galley here to know that Hera wasn't over here with his own galleys. Oh, that's slippery Yo. But, oh, wait, the trajectory.
No.
No, wait. No, I don't. Oh, wait, it's just barely. Just barely. And
All right.
I don't know if
Hera's base. Let's check. What's he doing here?
Oh,
well, he's got Loom already behind it. He hasn't started any walls or anything. He's not scouting. He's bringing the scout up on top there. He is actually patrolling his scout across this top island as well. And look at this. Bang on top of it. Will he...
Oh... Hera
He's coming back.
Yeah.
He's going to see that 100%.
Oh, it's only one villager,
Single villager.
Oh,
but he knows.
That's a disaster for Yo. Hera was anticipating the landing just because he has pretty much total water control right now with the good old 14 military to 5. So...
That military count now is insane. How does Yo begin to get back into this game now? This is trouble. This spells trouble straight away. The galley's going to be able to start trying to pick from the shoreline, just reduce the amount of surface area Yo has to work with, and then from there, Hera's feeling pretty good in terms of just moving up.
Okay, Yo can click up to Castle Age right now. Like, right now. Okay.
Right now.
Okay, he actually needs 4 more food right now. Click up to Castle Age. There we go. Yo, clicking his way up to Castle Age. This is going to be...
Hera not far behind, though. He only needs 100 more food.
Yeah, it is the same thing happened in the Viper versus Liereyy, where, surprisingly, the Viking and Italian players were pretty close, but in that situation, it was the Viking player who was up a little bit faster. Now it's going to be the Italian player, but remember, guys, that Italians can make a lot of work happen in the Castle Age with those half-price dock techs, can get all the dock techs.
Is Yo doing another transport now as well?
Yes, he is doing another transport. The galleys are going right on top of the fishing ships. Oh, no.
Oh,
Yo. Hera had those galleys all the way down to protect his own fishing ships, eventually just brought them all the way around the island, and he's going to snipe all of his opponent's fishing ships. This game is looking...
This hurts.
This is absolute dominance here from Hera.
This is fantastic. Hera's really starting to display, and look at this. He's scouted everywhere with these galleys as well. He's making sure nothing extra is coming. This is just absolute dominance from Hera. He's read the map positioning so well. He read the landing, he read the galley play, and behind this, he's even getting those fishing ships as an extra little snag behind this as well, pushing his economy so far ahead. His military count is so far ahead, and he's only just behind when it comes to Castle Age as well.
Yeah, what Yo's going to need to do is really leverage the fire ship tech, and hopefully even get like a fast careening or something as well, because he's just so heavily outgunned on the water. He's behind in the villager count, which is of course in part due to these fishing ships. I wonder if Hera's even added more fishing ships. Looks like he's still sticking with the 4 for the time being, but just so many guys. That's actually another dock down here. And Yo's trying again with the transport ship. This isn't going to work.
Look,
man.
The tenacity is good. I like that from Yo, but the galleys are just kind of patrolling around this section as well. Hera's got one around there. Looks like he actually might be pulled off by the fire ship too. So this actually might be a little bit of open season at the moment for Hera. The only thing I'm worried about is there's a fishing ship right here.
There's a fishing ship right there, and on top of that, like, Yo is well on his way to losing his docks. These fire galleys are going to be ungarrisoned before the war galley tech comes in. And like you were saying, Hera is just a little bit behind in terms of clicking up to Castle Age. Here comes the transport ship. It is going to land. Oh, the galley not quite patrolled. No, yo! Yo!
Oh, no.
Wait, the galley wasn't patrolled. What? That's weird. I guess.
He's
did Hera
seen
not
it,
notice?
though, right? He's seen it.
He had to have seen it.
I'm seeing no reaction on land. He's not pulling his galleys back.
Oh,
He
how
throws
did
down
Hera
the town
miss
center.
that?
Oh, no.
no.
Oh, no. Stable gets thrown up for Yo over on the other island as well. Hera is taking
Hera doesn't
absolute
even
dominance
have-
on the water.
Hera doesn't have a barracks.
He doesn't have anything to defend this. He's got the town center coming up, but this could be dire.
Yeah, and remember, Yo can just get these fire ships up and rolling. Hera still has no clue. Oh, look at this. He just doesn't know. Like, Hera's still in an amazing spot right now, like, don't get me wrong, but if he is not reacting to this in the way that he needs to, it could just be lights out for him. Siege Workshop coming in as well. Night production has begun. That is a lot of war galleys here for our red player. Trying to get the game all up to normal time, and Siege Workshop is now complete. I imagine a Mangonel is on the way. A Mangonel is on the way. Yeah, there we go. If you say it enough times, eventually you'll be right.
However, there we go. The knight is in play. It has managed to snipe a villager there as well. Hera knows something's going on. Monastery gets thrown up defensively behind this, and Yo throws up his own monastery as well. Barracks getting rushed up by Hera too, so he has some kind of military to be able to deal with this, and a couple of walls getting thrown up around his base as well.
I'm not a big fan of Yo sending in the knight, just one at a time.
I agree.
I think that it would have been better if he at least waited for a couple, or at least an upgrade or something, because it's just one knight with no upgrades. It's not the scariest thing in the world. Ooh, I like a little bit of a fire ship loop around here from Yo, just trying to snipe whatever fishing ships he can. Remember, the villager count is still pretty even. Back on Shay Yo, he is still only on the one town center, but I guess just keeping that constant villager production. Monk is on the way. I think it's around halfway done here for Hera. Indeed it is. Just trying to get whatever he can to cobble together a defense.
This is really, really good for Hera still. He just needs to hold off this Mangonel, hold off these knights, and if he does that, he's got himself water control. He's basically locked Yo in his island. The thing is, he just needs to hold this play. So how is he going to do that? He's putting up a monastery, he's put up a stable of his own as well. So he's going to be in a good situation. He just needs to stop that Mangonel really doing any damage, and if he holds it, he's good.
My question is, how is he actually going to stop the Mangonels from doing damage? We got now another stable on the way, but this one had to be at least partly cancelled.
Deleted actually now as well. It's actually been pulled out of there.
Yeah, and now another Mangonel's coming here to the north. This is actually completely open. Another knight and the scout cavalry can come in here and do some work. There's still this knight to the north as well. Yo is he's making better out of the situation he's in than I thought he would. Monk, of course, just going to heal up those injured units. Just keep it on with the Monk and Knight production from these buildings. And the thing is...
Oh, wow, look at this. A villager flee as well, right into Yo's Knight.
Really, really nice there from Yo, keeping that knight there, making sure that there is no just one single way that Hera can flee. Wait, did Yo delete that? Or did the villagers kill that?
No, they did not kill that. I believe there was a monk there. He was going for the convert, so we did actually have the deletion from Yo. It was hiding behind the mill.
Okay, yeah, it's hard for colorblind OrnLu to see behind the behind the mill. But yeah, town center is well on its way to going down. There is actually 2 monks here in the monastery, and
that's so many Mangonels.
That's gonna be 4 Mangonels. There are plenty of repairs going on. 1 knight here, but there is a monk for Yo as well. It's trying to mine stone. Okay, conversions are being attempted. Double Mangonel attack right there. There was 1 conversion, a piece for each side, but 1 Mangonel is 100% going to go down, but there's still 3 working with this town center. Actually going to try and focus the monk potentially. What is Yo doing? He misclicked. This is totally 100% a misclick. Now he's going to lose another Mangonel at a minimum. Another monk coming from that monastery.
This is just... Look, he was in a really good push there. He was starting to do damage with these Mangonels, but now that town center, it's just getting repaired too quickly. But is Hera out of wood?
No,
he's got resource. All the villagers decided to stop then for a second. I was a little bit worried he might have been out of wood.
Hey, they need a break, man.
Yeah, they're working hard.
That's true, but Yo is on the two town centers himself at home. The villager count, all things considered, is actually slightly in favor of Yo, which is, I think, pretty astonishing, all things considered. But still, another knight coming in. There is the monk advantage here for Hera. Mangonel numbers have been reduced so heavily that, I mean, it's not too much problem in terms of repairing it. I love that these villagers are trying to mine stone on the opponent's island. Is the scout conversion going to be successful? It is 2 monks trying to go for it. It takes 3 hits of the scout. That is some unfortunate conversion RNG for Hera. Gotta say. The Vululu goddess is, she be a cruel mistress.
She did not shine today. Hera, though, he's just still kind of patrolling around with these war galleys. That's the thing, he's really not utilizing these as best he could in this situation. He could be either firing from the shoreline or even just trying to deny more around Yo, cleaning up those docks. I guess he could just be worried about those fire ships coming back in, try and deal with his one singular fishing ship at this point that's over there. But he really needs to just clean this up on his own base now. We've got Yo trying to keep that Mangonel alive, getting all the repairs on there as much as possible. Town center getting repaired from Hera as well. So basically a little bit of a stalemate.
Hera's running out of resources really quickly, though.
The wood's gone. I told you, man.
Like, in case you guys don't know, town centers require double wood to be repaired. Like, normally the amount of wood you need to repair a building or stone is proportional to how much the building costs, but for town centers it's double, but it doesn't cost stone to repair. It's kind of complicated, but
you have to have a stone in the bank.
Yeah, you have to have 1 stone in the bank.
1 stone in the bank, minimum.
But it doesn't cost stone to repair.
It doesn't cost stone, though.
Yeah, it's really weird, but the important thing here is that it costs a lot of wood to repair town centers constantly, especially versus 3 mangonels. Something that Hera is doing, though, is starting to gather a lot of stone, and now we're even bringing these war galleys around. Maybe try and snipe some of these mangonels from the water.
Oh, it's absolutely something he needs to be playing here as well. He's started getting his own 9 count up a little bit. He's really not kind of utilizing that monastery at this stage too much either. Looks like we could potentially see another monk snipe over in the top here as well.
Well, Knight has not been converted, but we're back up to 4 mangonels. That is so hard to repair effectively. There is a siege workshop on the way, but there are still several knights here for Yo. 0 upgrades on them because neither player just wants to get their knights converted. Scout actually coming in here. The villagers, the peasants are trying to help out the holy man, and no,
there's the monk snipe.
It didn't work out. But the town center is still getting so close to being destroyed. Scout, that's not going to be so great. There are still 2 monks here. Hera has to be very, very careful. This game is very much on a razor's edge, and actually Yo's pulling ahead in terms of villagers. He's actually a good 6 vills ahead right now.
What an absolute monster. He loses the water, but in all honesty, in this game, he didn't seem to really want it. This was his plan from the beginning. He snuck 1 villager, didn't work out, snuck another villager. Why not? Then just build as many mangonels as you can, get rid of their town centers, which is now down, and that's not going to be repaired anymore, and just keep pushing. Hera doesn't really have anything he can use to push into this, and as long as Yo stays towards the middle of the island, that navy of Hera is useless.
Indeed it is. This is something I'm pretty scared for Yo. There are 6 mangonels here, but like this one mangonel can have a huge shot. Hera's just trying to repair in time so the mangonel can come out, and it will. Let's see if it can get... There's 1. It's going to be at worst a 1-for-1, but I assume it will be more than that. Oh, why are you pulling back the knights? I guess he's trying to defend his own mangonels, but oh, the monks are going to try and come for the conversion. This is absolutely a critical fight. If Yo loses these mangonels, it will be a disaster. How did neither of those get converted?
What has happened here? Even between that as well, Hera has lost his mangonel. He only got 1 mangonel with it there as well. Mr. Yo playing like an absolute god behind this.
Yeah, definitely. I just can't believe that Yo didn't get a single conversion with those monks. Like, hidden Teutons here for Hera or something. But the Siege Workshop, it's around halfway done with another mangonel. The knights are just trying to go for whatever snipes they can. I think another monk... Oh, that guy is not with all of the faith he needs. And another mangonel has been sniped, and this should secure Hera another mangonel to be completed. Yo is now 8 villagers ahead, though, behind this, with another TC on the way.
Then we've got Mr. Yo as well, down to 2 mangonels. They just keep getting routed by Hera. But Yo knows what's up. He just keeps pushing behind this as best he can. What's the next stage of the plan here? And Hera gets 2 great snipes. Gets rid of the mangonels. Will lose it there overall to the knights, which sucks, but he's bought himself time now, which is exactly what he needed.
There was a snipe on the monk by Hera, but a conversion, and an instant conversion back. Hera's defense here has just been amazing. Like, this has just been an amazing defense. He was able to take out 6 mangonels. Oh, but Yo had a nice mangonel hit onto that monk, was able to take him down, but has now lost all of his mangonels and all of his monks. That is not super hot, but Yo is honestly not that far away from Imperial Age, come to think of it. But now the defensive castle has come in here for Hera. If I were Yo in this scenario, I would say I was able to really mess with my opponent, but it's time to, you know, make a play for the water again. Try and make a bunch of docks and then use your Imperial Age advantage.
Let's get a castle or something down, build some docks up around it so you've got a staging point to work with. You can get your numbers up, and then from there, put yourself back onto the water and get back into the game entirely.
Yeah, Hera, villager count not too bad, only a little bit behind that of his opponents. Also, we have to consider that he has handcart, and Yo might have wheelbarrow, but definitely doesn't have handcart, not on islands. And is only a few villagers behind, but again, it's actually the idle villagers that Yo has been able to cause for his opponent. And now Hera's the one making the transport ship.
Hera wants to start dictating this one. He's thrown up a castle back at home as well, so that will really start to deny any kind of mangonel pressure that can happen here. He knows he's relatively safe, but the transport ship coming up, he knows he needs to make some kind of play onto Yo now. He needs to reverse up the pressure, get in there and do some damage, because Yo's just starting to run away with the economy now.
Just a little bit, but Yo is also up to the Imperial Age, but he's actually going to lose this town center. It's actually a little bit of a misplacement there from Yo. Just putting this town center here where he has no access to, defending it. So he has to gather the stone over here. But to be fair, both stones are in range of the war galleys, so he's going to need to find a way to get back on the water. Fletching coming in ballistics, it's pretty clear, I think, what he needs to do. He needs to get back onto the water, because this push, it has a clock on how long it's going to be useful, and that clock is very short.
Absolutely. We've got a tower coming up as well, so Yo just trying to be annoying at this stage, kind of hold down his position he's got there. More mangonels being produced, though. He's back up to 4. He might be looking to loop around here, try and damage off this town center on the actual side here, but what does Hera have to actually deal with this? He's got 2 light cavalry, he's got a monk.
He's got to have guard tower.
He's got the... Yep. He's fine.
Yep,
he's fine.
He's fine. I'm actually not at all a fan of this from Yo. I think he's trying a little too hard to keep this this push a-going. And I think, like I was saying, if he could make a big play back to the water, that would be insanely good for him. And I guess he's denying this gold, but I guess Hera's still able to kind of take this gold, and now the guard tower's done. I think that Hera is just fine in this game right now. We also have Hera starting to loop around with these war galleys again. Where is Yo going to be redocking, I guess, if at all?
My thing I'm really interested in here, we've got Hera actually landing Little Island towards the top here. 2 golds on it, so he's actually looking at the late game play here as well. Wants to get some kind of defense going. Yo's building the castle on his opponent's island.
What
he
the hell,
wants to
man?
get Trebs out and just deal with this, I guess.
This is a ballsy
That's
play.
gutsy.
Wow, that is intense. He's also getting careening. I think this might just be for transporting more villagers over. He is getting more docks here at the front. Oh, maybe this is going to be for a re-water play. That's a word now.
So he's going to build the castle on his opponent's island, build docks everywhere, I guess, behind that, try and take the water control back. This is... I wish him all the luck. I do. He needs it.
This is a bolder play than I would make, and Hera doesn't know the castle's coming up. It's just out of his LOS. Oh, that's so unfortunate for him. And Yo now getting fast fire ship. Those will, of course, do so incredibly well versus the war galleys, which are very, very out of position. And yeah, once fast fire ship comes in just a few seconds, they're going to be, the war galleys going to be hard pressed to defend. Mangonel will be sniped by Hera. Nicely done from him. His defense has been so good so far, but there's only so much you can do in Castle Age versus Imperial Age.
Hera
He's
just
still
doesn't
so far
have
away.
many cards to play right now. We've got Yo putting up the castle. He's got a great staging point. He's throwing up a lot of extra docks behind this now. Like you said, he's going for fast fire ship behind this, and they will just absolutely tear through the war galleys. We've got, hopefully, trebuchets on the way there for Yo as well, so we'll start sieging down these castles. Hera needs an answer, and he needs it quickly.
Yeah, so the thing is, for Hera right now, he needs gold income. He doesn't have much at all. He needs a ton of gold to get to Imperial Age, obviously. He has this neutral island right now, but as soon as Yo scouts it, that's going to be pretty much useless. And he has sort of this gold here that he's mining, and his other one is, like, completely denied. So this is going to be a very tricky defense here from Yo, who's actually getting his own guard tower in.
All right, we're seeing more and more upgrades come through. We've seen Hera drop a lot of barracks up towards the top of his island. He's getting his infantry upgrades behind that as well, so it looks like we know he wants to get some pikes out there as well, just to be able to deal with some of this cavalry that we've got in play, but he needs a way to push on top of this siege now, which is going to be the big issue behind it, and Yo's starting to make his play to retake the water.
Yeah, Hera is still far away from Imperial... Oh, no, never mind. He just clicked up to Imperial Age. Oh, but looks like 2 of the fast fire ships got converted. That's actually a huge, huge win there for Hera. Let's actually see... Oh, wait. Let's see if Yo has seen the neutral island. I would have to assume he has not. Yeah, no, he has not. So that is, again, another little bit of a lucky break for Hera. 2 trebuchets, though, starting to work away at this castle. As I always say, you can prepare against 1 or 2 trebuchets. 3 is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, it just makes things so hard. You're losing so much stone, the amount of villagers you're having to put on top of it to repair, and then the actual numbers game behind that as well. It's basically just a delay at that stage.
And you can't even delay for all that long. And look, another castle coming forward here for Yo as he is starting to treb down his opponent. And the thing is, Hera's water control isn't as great as it used to be. Yeah, he still has a bunch of war galleys around, but even just a few fast fire ships will clean those guys up, no problem. And, you know, Hera has a big army of pikemen that's just going to be running into castle fire.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got enough there to be able to hold behind his castle in terms of military count, but with these trebuchets, he needs to find a way to actually start getting back in there dealing with this situation, because you can't just stand idly by like this, and this is what's starting to come of this. He just
24
can't push
villagers, Turk, trying to repair this castle, and it's not going to be enough.
Oh, this is absolutely crazy. Hera, what have you done here? How can you get back into this game? You need a way to deal with these trebuchets, you need a way to deal with these castles, and right now, you're still not even in Imperial. This army could just continually push while under castle fire.
Yeah, I would love to see a few more ships out from Yo and, you know, scout this island, because this gold is really what's keeping Hera in the game, because this gold is about to be denied. This gold is like, it's so denied that it's more in Yo's control. And yeah, Yo, if he can push Hera off of this gold, would almost certainly win the game, but Hera still has the element of surprise, which is not on the periodic table, in case you're wondering.
Alright, so Yo just pushing down these guard towers as best as possible, trying to restrict the access that Hera has to any resources here. Like you did mention, will be nice once Yo notices this island up in the top, but until then, it's just about pushing back, making sure Hera has no room, because that's a lot of the real estate here and its actual value. Production buildings, farms, things to actually keep your economy going and keep your unit production up. And that's where Hera's going to start really running into trouble here. Finally hits Imperial Age. What have we got? Battering rams, but there come the longboats.
Longboats are on the way. Hera, I don't think Hera's allowed to build that unit. No, but seriously, like these two middle islands being in Hera's control and unscouted has just been absolutely critical for him. And now he was building an archery range as he takes down his opponent's starting town center. He has so much siege. Like, yeah, Hera has, like, you know, some light cav, some pikemen, but against castles, even some genbos are on the way. And remember, those guys were buffed in Castle Age, so their fire rate is much better, and they're going to do quite well versus both those units.
Hera just needs some kind of opportunity here to push back, and Yo is just not slipping up. The only thing he really hasn't done is he hasn't pumped too much into his water production, but I guess at the same time right now, if you're holding out so well against your opponent on land, you may as well just go for it. Cap rams are moving in.
Oh, come on, no,
That is, come on, Yo.
We say no to Yo on this one. Yeah, the cap rams are right there. But still, like, all of Hera's army is getting trashed. Like, he's still going to have to, like, delete this castle if he wants to recover that stone cost. But the rest of Hera's...
Yeah, that was a huge commitment there for Hera to stop this going up.
Yeah, it's going to go down, right? Yeah, it's totally going down. And Yo didn't cancel it, I'm like pretty sure. And that is not going to be good. He doesn't have enough stone for another castle, and Hera has control of this neutral stone in the middle of the map. He's going to need his own castle. He needs to delete some farm space for it, because he is running out of land.
Alright, the good news is, though, we've got mangonels behind the castle there of Yo, so we'll be able to clean up these rams. And behind that, what's Hera got left on his island right now, apart from villagers? And he's trying to transport as many of them to safety as he can.
We're playing migration now, boys! Gotta transport to the center island. It's just, well, you know, with global warming, rising sea levels, the center island of migration it's seen better days. Oh, man. But Yo just taking more and more control over this land. It's going to give him access to more gold. Like, Yo just has access to so much gold. Hera has plenty in the bank and still has a little bit more he can mine.
Oh, man, there's just 50 idle villages up here. If you just go north a little bit, it's just... That's cruel to see.
Oh, no. These villagers, they just don't know what to do. They're trying to run into the ocean, but they never took swimming lessons. This is such a disaster for Hera. Yo has just been so hard to get rid of, and now he's building a town center. This is really smart, so obviously he can replenish lost villagers.
Hera's like got 2k or like 1,500 gold in the bank. He's
no
got
wood.
No food in the world, like no wood. He can't do anything with his base resources. He's building Atlantis in the center of the map at this stage, just because it's going to come crashing down around him at some point here. What do we do?
He's
like,
relying
good on you,
on this
Hera,
wood.
but go!
He's relying on this wood in the middle to produce, to have any wood income whatsoever.
Alright, you've got about 700, 800 wood to make something happen here, Hera. What's it going to be?
Oh, man. And just these Genoese crossbowmen. There's not going to be a trash unit you can make. Yo now getting the rest of his ship upgrades. And the game is over, says DE.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Like,
Yeah.
Look at all these. How long have these villages been idle for? There's 45 over here.
Yeah.
He's slowly moving 5 across at a time. I don't think it was really going to kind of get him anywhere.
No, it wasn't going to work. That was such an incredible comeback from Yo, because he just got like destroyed in early water. It took 3 attempts to make the landing happen.
But it happened.
It did happen.
And that's what matters.
I know. Oh, man. These games so far.
This has been stunning. This has been... I know I said before, the last one may have been my favorite game of the series. This is now my favorite set.
Yeah, like...
of NAC 3 so far, guys. This has been absolutely amazing. Yo, basically just dunking those balls in brass and going for it.
Yeah, that was quite something. Of course, Yo had more gold income, and although Yo only had slightly more wood income, it was the fact that at the end he still had wood income and his opponent didn't. Oh man, like the way he won Highlands, just starving his opponent of wood of all resources, and just Hera's defense, it was so good for so long, but having that much slower Imperial Age from the lack of gold income just really wasn't enough, and you can see that Hera's population just dropping like a rock in that game, and that is game number 2, tying things up 1-1.
That's it. There's still at least 2 more games here, like absolute minimum. If we're lucky, we go to the entire 5-set series, which is what we want after this, but this has just been absolutely stunning. I'm happy to see both players bringing so much competition to this and just working so hard for their wins as well. This isn't going either way as played. They're having to earn every single little victory here. I am just absolutely loving this. NAC always provides some of the best games in Age of Empires, and this is what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, wow, This is one heck of a game, or set rather. So next is going to be Hera's home map, so that we're looking at either TaToH or Land Madness. So another Arabia clone we are going to be seeing. And they are apparently in the game already. I hit the credits button on accident. Whoops. That's not the multiplayer button.
All right, let's jump in. I'm just searching for game here as well. We should be in hopefully in a couple of seconds here. And looks like they're still in a lobby right now. We just got
Overlay
the
guy.
sim from Overlay Guy.
Overlay guy.
We got some time. He got us excited.
To do.
But no, this is great. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's this is just such an amazing series. It's been 2 very different, very back and forth games. Now Overlay guy.
Now maybe.
Here we go.
Oh, there's a game. No way.
And we should be getting in. All right, guys, here we are in game number 3 in this best of 5. Yo will be our blue player to the west of the map, as the Mayans taking the last game in a crazy game of islands. And to the east of TaToH here will be Hera as the Huns.
All right, this is a matchup or civs we've seen a lot of. We've said before in the tournament, Mayans have been really underperforming. Huns as well, with their mobility, they have a lot of options throughout the entire game. So really this is up to Hera to try and make something happen, dictate the pace of the game, try and deny those plumed archers, deny any kind of map control to Yo as early as possible, and then really try and lock it down. Yeah,
totally. We see that... I think we saw this exact same matchup in, again, the Viper Liereyy series yesterday, and there it was just... Liereyy just completely abusing the powerful feudal age of Huns and taking it to the Viper in that one game that he won. But we'll see if Hera can have the same success. We know that he loves his Huns and he likes to be aggressive, so we'll see if Yo's going to be able to hang on here.
There was a point where Hera was just playing, like, earlier... nearly last decade, where Hera was just playing Huns. Arabia, he is extremely confident with this format, so it'll be nice to see him kind of push that advantage as much as possible, be nice and aggressive, and hopefully not be too shaken after that, because Yo, of course, 3 landings there, you kind of expect to be able to hold that one, and there wasn't really a point there when that landing started where Hera kind of was like, this is fine, it'll be okay, he got his guard towers up, but beyond that, it's been Yo in control.
Yeah, absolutely. Map going to be, of course, TaToH, guys. It's pretty much Arabia, but you have these random little ponds.
Or Hera has these random little ponds.
Yeah, I guess Hera has his random little ponds. I guess there's kind of one in the...
Yo got some hills. That's kind of cool.
Yo is, you know, he's got some hills. But other than that, guys, it's Arabia with some smaller wood lines, but there's I think a few more of them. And because of that, you can see at least the maps of these players are somewhat easy.
Oh no, Hera, are you about to lose that villager? Come in and block it, please.
Oh, wait.
That's nice. That is very, very nice. He manages to wall the villager, doesn't get killed by the boar there, which is good. But Yo, I think he's going to realize this one with the Eagle Scout as well, and this villager might actually be stuck for a minute.
I guess I was behind or something. Oh, there it is, guys. There's the epic save. just trying to work around DE here, guys. But yeah, Hera will be able to get that guy in without too much problem. Nice little bit of a last-minute maneuver there from Mr. Hera. But I think the more important thing is going to be Yo's map. Can he defend himself? Can he get up to Castle Age where he wants to be? Because that's where Mayans are really going to want to be, because no scouts in the Feudal Age, that was such a big problem for Viper, and it could be a big problem for Yo as well, but still, his map's fairly wallable. Oh, that gold is ugly. That's an ugly gold.
That's not very nice.
I don't care, it's an ugly gold. I'm so vindictive.
We did have a little bit of a scout fight under Hera's TC there as well. This villager has been stuck walled in. Of course, Yo is just looking for any chance he can to delay Hera, and keeping this villager boxed in like this is a great opportunity for him. Just needs to be careful not to lose too much HP on top of his Eagle Scout there. And, oh, Hera moves forward one tile. He's slowly getting there.
This is quite the little dance these guys are both doing. Remember that Yo can, you know, if these guys disengage, just go and heal up his Eagle Scout.
Oh, the Scout Cavalry is so low now.
Yeah, it's only at 5
This is an
HP.
absolute dance. I love it. I love it so much. Hera garrisoning the town center every chance he gets to try and get some extra damage on top of that Eagle Scout. And, oh, here we go. Is he going to... Yeah, he's safe. He's safe.
Okay, it looks like these guys are just going to disengage. That was quite the little adrenaline rush in the early game. Hera ringing in his second boar. Yo already having done that himself. But yeah, okay, so we see one villager going on to gold already. Barracks is on the way before the 7-minute mark. This screams Drush very, very loudly. So, well, yeah, I got something on Hera to defend just a little bit, but he does have the back wood line. Forge bush is pretty close to his TC. He's at least theoretically fairly well set up here.
As for Yo looking towards the back of his base, he's got that nice safe stone that he really wants as Mayans. Can wall in, take that one, get up to Castle Age, drop his castle down whenever he's ready, get those plumed archers out, and then try and move out and take a little bit more map control. Just dropping his walls down now as well, a little bit kind of close to his gold there, but I guess from Hera, we're most likely going to see a scout opening here, so he's going to be able to get across the map nice and quickly, and won't be able to really kind of target that gold too badly.
Yeah, if worse comes to worse, I think Yo can put a tower on that gold and will likely be fine. The rest of his base is coming in with a lot of walls himself. Hera clicking up on 22 pop, actually. Is it going to be going for a men-at-arms opening? Is Hera trying to prove that he is not a scout player? No militia queued up just yet. Looks like we are going not to...
Not to a point of view, that's for sure.
Not to that point of view.
We're going back to the game.
We're going back to the game. Point of view is out, says Overlay Guy. Feels bad, man.
I'm definitely in.
So still, we have the Drush that should be incoming here pretty soon. Yeah. Oh, is the scout going to be trapped here? Looks like it is. Well, I mean, I guess it could still escape over here or over here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of room to work with, but we do have the Drush from Mr. Yo moving out across the map now as well. Very, very low HP on the Scout from Hera as well, so not going to be too useful to really kind of help push that one back if he gets in from here. Hera is starting to build some militia of his own as well, so we'll hopefully be able to defend this one as best as possible. Still looking relatively open here as well, so really, let's see if Mr. Yo can do any damage. He can find somewhere on one of these wood lines. The gold camp is up for Hera behind this as well.
So here's the thing, I think I was talking about it with somebody, I don't remember these casts, but the problem with going for a men-at-arm opening, which is exactly what Hera is doing, against a Drush opening, is it keeps your men-at-arms at home if you're trying to defend with it. Like, if you're going for the men-at-arms play, you should just have your men-at-arms on the other side of the map, but now, like, Yo is going to be 100% fully walled by the time that the men-at-arms ever think of crossing to the other side of the map, which means that this Drush is buying Yo time, and that's really what's important here.
We've got Yo finishing off his walls around his entire base now, looking very, very safe, buying himself that time, which is what OrnLu was saying there. Really kind of wants to move himself into the next stage of the game and kind of jump through much of this as possible. Hera, though, already up in a feudal age, of course, by delaying that militia a little bit, and it looks like we do have the villagers coming forward for Hera, but nope, coming back towards town center now.
Debated, maybe he doesn't want to reveal the forward villagers and is going to try and send them after the militia go. That's not how that works. Oh, but you have to get the other palisades here.
Oh, that was absolutely stunning. That is our boy Hera right there.
Wait, did he
showing
build
you
the palisade
exactly what he
walls?
has to drop.
Or is that changed in DE? Because the diagonal gates you can just walk through, right? Am I crazy?
Apparently not.
Okay, I guess that was changed in DE. Now the villagers are coming forward, but nicely here for Yo. He's sending his Eagle
The gate's
Scout back.
open though. And it's closed again, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Like, I was following these forward villagers and the men-at-arms, and okay.
Yo has scouted those forward villages as well, though, so always nice to see from him. He can prepare from this one. He knows exactly what's going to be happening. What does he do back at home to kind of begin to deal with this?
If I were him, okay, he's already sent some villagers over to Stone, and he's just going to need to place some defensive towers and hold on that way and hopefully get to Castle Age, I think, pretty quickly. If you look at his resources, it's not like he's going to be going for a fast castle. Actually, instantly gets the Town Watch upgrade, so he really doesn't want to get towered.
Both these players pushing those towers up as quickly as possible. Of course, Mr. Yo going to get that one up a little bit quicker. Actually pulls another villager just to make sure he will be getting it up as much quicker as possible. Scout just still looking around, making sure he's not missing anything from this guy. Militia still caught in the, I guess, the trap there from Hera as well. Absolutely fantastic play from him on that one. But these men-at-arms at the front at the moment for Hera, forcing the repair on this house.
Ooh, Hera actually got the snipe onto the Eagle Scout. That's pretty nice. And the towers come up for both players. I like that a bit more for Hera, because now Yo's going to have these villagers stuck. Hera's just going to jump over here and build another tower. And Yo's going to build this defensive tower. Oh, Hera's actually building this on this little one-tile hill. That's cute. That's really cute.
If it's going to help, it's going to help. Oh, may as well take it.
I mean, a one tile of a hill advantage is the same as, 7 tiles. Archery range followed here from Hera. This is the sort of play I really like to see against a defensive Mayan opening. And I guess Yo just changing his walls a little bit, but Hera's tower is going to come up first, and there's still even an additional men-at-arm that's coming here for Hera. This is looking like a pretty shaky defense here for Yo.
This is great. Hera's playing this one so aggressively. He knows where his chance is to really take this one, and he's pushing for it as much as possible. Once the Mayans get their castle up and they start to take that map control, there's really kind of not too much you can do. You need to wait it out quite a little bit. Whereas here, if Hera can dictate this pace a lot more, it means he's going to be in such a good situation to really kind of hold Yo back from getting to that stage of the game he wants to get to.
I'm quite confused. Why did Hera's men-at-arms, why do you want to run away with them? He could have just camped under the tower and used the covering fire from his high ground tower to, seal the deal. But no, he just kind of got arrowed down by Yo. And yes, this tower is still going to be up, but now Yo sending more villagers over. He's going to do absolutely everything in his power to try and keep this tower alive, because, he'd like to have some gold income.
And he's still got these 5 villagers garrisoned in the other tower as well, so getting a lot of idle time from them.
That is 10
And Yo, man, he's committing to the villager push here onto the tower as well.
I think it will work, though, because as you guys can see, you can attack the corners of towers with villagers. It's why you do need to completely wall them. Hera might even try and wall in these villagers just to be extra annoying, but it won't be enough, I'm pretty sure. And this tower will go down. Another one actually on the way here for Hera. And now that this tower is down, these villagers can go back to work. And Yo is even grabbing the fletching upgrade.
Good to see from him is starting to stabilize what he can out of this. Hera, like you said, though, is making that transition into the archer range. Actually has a blacksmith up behind this as well, so starting to look pretty good. And I froze. Back in a sec.
Okay.
Oh, we're good.
Okay. This tower is down, but this tower is still on the way here for Hera. This is a lot of villagers, though, for Yo. He is not messing around, but he has a 2-villager advantage right now, so if he can hold on, he will be in a good spot. More palisade walls coming up defensively, and I think these towers should finish around the same time. And, yeah, obviously, Hera was able to clean up those militia with, like, an archer. And, yeah, I think both towers will finish, yeah.
Hera's done a great job of just pulling as much idle time as he can out of Yo right now. Yo does have that small villager lead that we were talking about, but at the same time, yeah, Hera's just getting so much idle time out of him. Like you were saying, against a Mayan player, this is great to see.
Yeah, it definitely is. No, Hera's just now grabbing Wheelbarrow. I wonder how he fell that far behind with the economy. I guess just idle TC time, but that's... I don't think he lost any villagers. Oh wait, no, he lost 2 villagers going forward. Okay, that makes sense. It's been a long day of casting. So this tower is actually in range of this tower, but I think the villagers are out of range, and that's all that matters. It means that Yo's gonna have to do something right here.
Hera just continuing to try and lock down those resources. We have the first archers starting to trickle in from Hera as well. So just looking for somewhere where he can do some damage, be a little bit more annoying with them than he really should be.
Yeah, and of course the tower in the north is going to go down, but the tower at the west is going up, and that will likely still deny all of the gold income for the time being. And the thing with Yo right now is that he is just so far away from Castle Age.
Hera nearly at 600 food as well, so pretty much ready to click his way up. Just waiting on that last of the resources to come in. Really good economy balance from him as well. And he's just stalled so much time out of Yo here. He's in a really good place. If he gets up to Castle Age a little bit earlier as well, he can really kind of push this one home to Yo, and I really hope he goes nice and aggressive with it.
Yeah, I think like forward siege workshop, a bunch of stables, of course, because the towers are better against archers than against cavalry. Castle Age just now coming in for Hera. If we go over to Yo's resources, he's still a decent ways off. And just the time, oh, even another tower coming in from Hera. I would assume Yo does see this because of Town Watch. Oh yeah, totally. So he knows it's coming, but he needs to do something to, I think, prevent it from coming up. Otherwise, it will definitely deny the gold.
Hera actually throwing up a secondary archery range at home, adding some skirmishes to the mix there as well. So not exactly the kind of aggression we were looking for, but he is ready to commit into a little bit more military play by the looks of things. Currently 40% of the way towards Castle Age, so making things very, very easy for him here. He's really dictating the pace of this, and it's been working out very, very well for him so far. It's been minimal investment in terms of units, but it has taken a lot of towers, and Yo's starting to look quite well defended.
Yep, he is going to be around 50% of the way up slower, has 10 more villagers right now, though. We'll have to see what that differential is once both players reach Castle Age. But the thing is, all of the towers have gone down, and that is something Yo's going to have to be pretty happy about. He's going to need to, yeah, Yo's just going to completely stonewall himself in. Remember, of course, Mayans do have those half-cost walls, and whatever Hera's doing that is involving archery ranges should be forestalled by stone walls and towers, which is why I think I preferred the cavalry play. It's actually making an eagle.
There's the actual very big difference in terms of the population right now as well. We do have a 10 villager difference towards Yo, so Yo's economy right now in such a good place in terms of the comparison right now. Obviously a little bit quicker up to the feudal age there, or sorry, up to the castle age, so it will balance out eventually, but going up, he's going to have a lot more resource to work with his upgrades, and eventually hopefully move into a style of play. Town centers at the moment hopefully should come up nice and defensively to kind of prevent any, or take some more area that he can really get into with these golds, but Hera, look at this, towers coming up again.
That is like he's just trying to get that perfect positioning on the tower with Bodkinero on the way for him, elite skirmisher as well. He is getting ready to deal with plumed archers. And wait, I said Hera was making an Eagle Scout. I just realized that a little bit ago. Whoops. But yeah, of course, these villagers are going to be taken down by the Eagle Scout of Yo.
Oh, beautiful. This is what he needed. Clean that up.
Playing Ring Around the Rosie, Ring Around the Tower. Oh, got the hot hands there. Beautiful little save there. And he's going to keep on trying to build the tower. Cute little move there from Hera.
I love it. We're seeing so many good maneuvers in this series and things like that. This is what is separating everyone right now. This is the level of play we expect at NAC, and it's the level of play we're starting to get. Hera moving across with those skirmishers, really looking for anywhere he can do that damage at the moment. Is up to elite skirmisher as well, so posing a lot more threat to these villagers now.
Indeed, that will be the case. I mean, feudal age skirmishers don't do anything to villagers, but elite skirmishers, they can be a threat if you are not prepared. Siege workshop and castle on the way. The villager just going to be annoyed a little bit. Will be able to get the siege workshop up. Plumed archer production will eventually be able to begin, and Yo actually will be able to get some good upgrades, get to some extra town centers as well. Meanwhile, at home, you can see Hera is only on the one town center so far with just double skirmisher production.
I'm actually starting to get a little bit worried about this for Hera. A lot of his farms have actually dried up and he hasn't been able to replace them. We've got a couple of skirmishes out across the field he's trying to hold map control with, but Yo's getting his castle up. He's got his siege workshop up. This is what he wanted behind this one. We've got a stable finally coming up from Hera as well, so he's going to be able to try and take a little bit of that map control back. But Yo's looking like he's getting himself into a really good position yet again.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Yo here going for both the plumed archers. Well, I assume he's going for plumed archers. Yeah, going for plumed archers as well as the eagle warriors. You can see he got the +1 defense as well. He just knows his opponent's making almost entirely skirmishers. So in that case, yeah, of course, you're going to need some eagle warriors. Forward siege workshop as well for Hera. I'm not sold on the skirmisher as the world's deadliest attacking unit.
I am very worried. We've already got Yo out with that defensive mangonel as well, or even could be a little bit more aggressive in this case, and actually throwing up his second town center behind this as well. So really, Hera's on the clock now to make something happen. If Yo can just kind of sit away, or even start pushing away this aggression, it is such a loss for Hera.
Indeed, and that tower to the west has gone down. All of these villagers will be able to be put back to work, and that's just a comfortable 6-villager lead right now for Mr. Yo. Mangonel on the way here for Hera, but we do have some Eagle Warriors running around somewhere, I think. There's at least one.
Doing their best, man. That's all they need to do. But it looks like Hera at the moment is trying to find a way to engage this, but he's really struggling. Basically just patrolling this hill. Looks like he's waiting for his Mangonel, but there was a castle right there. The Mangonel can't really push too effectively.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's why it's so hard to deal with Mayans much of the time, even with their, you know, obscenely costed plumed archers. But the castle just provides you so much defensive ability, and you have this secondary layer of house walls from Yo, the stone walls to the south, and it's like, the skirmishers just are not that scary of a unit. Just a few Eagle Warriors will be able to deal with them with zero problem.
Yo looking to raid with some plumed archers now as well, moving out across the map. Looks like Hera's looking pretty safe. He's got a couple of knights out there now as well. Looks like he did see them coming with the elite skirm, so he's not feeling too bad about it. But still, these plumed archers, we know, super aggressive. They're super easy to move around with. So all Yo's looking for is a position here, and if he can keep picking away at those villages, the villager difference is just going to get so different again. Even though we have this massive advantage of 10 villages for Yo, all he needs to do is just keep poking, prodding, doing some kind of damage, just harassing Hera, and the lead just begins to skyrocket for him.
I wonder if Yo thinks that Hera's on multiple TCs behind this, because he's definitely not. And if, like, in this position, you would think you just want to go as defensive as possible, just hold your opponent off, and then just roll them in early Imperial Age, as Mayans are wont to do. Not the greatest Mangonel hit in the world. Knight even coming in as well. Plumed Archer's going to try and come in and snipe that guy. It does have the +1 defense. Even a second Knight here, I don't think that... third Knight even, yeah, that Mangonel's dead. I don't think this is going to accomplish a whole lot.
And at the same time, Yo actually up to his third town center behind this, so he's really looking good in terms of getting his economy up and running behind this. Hera looks like he's only just getting his second and third up at this point as well. We do have one just towards the south of his town center, and then a little bit further towards the stone, so looking pretty good there. Knight's running on top of the Mangonel, and will get the snipe on top of it, and looks like they want to go for the plumed archers, trying to slow them down as much as possible, but the elite skirmishers just getting caught behind.
Yeah, elite skirmishers are falling a little bit behind, but this is still a really good fight for Hera. All things considered, he just has some skirmishers and some knights, pretending that he's Liereyy, I guess, and then going to, well, the plumed archers are pretty slippery, and able to take down one knight. Another one is at very low HP, and again, I feel like Hera's just, okay, he has a second town center, but that's not going to catch you up in this game. You're still down 17 villagers to the Mayan player.
That's it. He's even going up with a third as well, but this is the exact same numbers we're getting with Yo. So unless Hera decides to make something happen, do something, break the norm here, this is where it's going to be a really big struggle for him. We do actually have a monastery coming up. We've got two Mangonels in the center of the map as well, so he's looking for some way to take a fight here. Really needs to do it, but the problem is Yo, he just trades so effectively, and we've seen that in all the matches we've seen from him today.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this guy knows when he can and cannot take engagements. The thing is, he also has enough stone almost for another castle, and in addition to just completely locking down his base defensively, it will provide him the plumed archer production he needs to just completely start to snowball this game in his favor. He has the better economy, he's going to have the cheaper, more cost-efficient army very soon, and I don't see Hera breaking him in the next few minutes.
And that's where it really becomes an issue here, because Mayans, they're looking for that early Imperial. I think you mentioned this earlier as well. They get their plume production up and running, they get their upgrades, and then they are just absolutely everywhere throughout your base. And it becomes so hard to deal with. They're so easy to move around, so easy to raid with, and once there's a couple of castles up as well, look at that positioning from Yo as well with his secondary castle. Takes it on top of the hill just towards the north of his town centers there, and it locks down essentially the relic, it locks down some extra wood. He's got it on the hill, and it's even overseeing an extra gold up a little bit further as well.
That's actually really nice. That is a neutral gold technically, although Yo has obviously much easier access to it. Two groups of plumed archers running around. Skirmishers actually are in a very nice spot here for Hera to take them down. And look, Yo's actually clicking up to Imperial Age already. Oh man, I just don't think Hera can get enough damage done by the time that Yo hits Imperial Age. You can see Hera's nowhere near Castle Age. He actually, or Imperial Age rather, he almost has enough stone for a castle of his own. Maybe he's going to try and like put it aggressively right here, but if your opponent's faster to Imperial Age, that forward castle is not useful.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I hope it works out, but it can go badly very, very quickly. We've finally got Mr. Yo on the plumed archer production he's really after here. Hits up to Imperial, and I'm seeing the production of some Eagle Warriors behind this as well.
Yeah, I mean, really, Hera has shown primarily skirmisher play, so you don't want to just fully make plumed archers into skirmishers. That isn't the greatest idea ever. I mean, yeah, plumed archers do all right, but they're not incredible. Uh-oh, two Mangonels here. It looks like Yo is retreating regardless. But the thing is, as this game goes to Imperial, Huns don't have the last armor upgrade for their archers, so their skirmishers do even worse than you might think. Oh, this could be huge!
This is big hits.
Actually, these...
Oh no, Yo, what are you focusing on right now?
I mean, they're constantly uphill, but yeah, I mean, all the plumed archers, most of the plumed archers are going to be going down. Yo only has 6 military right now, and he's 60% of the way up to Imperial Age. I would love to see some more Plumed Archer production, but it's actually going to be like full Eagle Warrior by the looks of things.
Looks like we're going to see that full Eagle Warrior just try and raid them to death as early as possible, if not to even just get yourself that bigger advantage. Yo's looking for it. I guess he's not too worried about the plumes. It's not something you want to just throw away, but at the same time, if he's going into Eagles, this shouldn't affect him too badly straight away.
I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of this, because where you are going to have a huge advantage is in like early Imperial Age, with, I would assume, like a bunch of plumed archers. But with Knights, they're going to at least be semi-okay versus Eagle Warriors. I do like how Hera's picking up some relics, as is Yo. Just good stuff there. But, you know, Yo has pretty good upgrades already, and he's going to have plenty of resources when he hits Imperial Age.
Alright, here we go. I believe we're on 6 barracks for Yo as well, and we should start to see an insane queue up here. We should see all the tech we need behind it as well. Yo over 1,000 gold in the bank. So we should be able to get this one going pretty quickly. Hopefully we should see the armor upgrades and things get dropped in pretty quickly. And let's see what we've got.
Well, Hera is just about to click to imp himself. He actually has the resources, and there we go, just now starting Imperial Age. Yo has the Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade a little bit done. Beautiful attack round right there from Hera.
Oh,
3
that's
mangonels.
nice.
And Yo, some nice follow-up splits, but obviously just trying to gimp this Eagle Warrior flood as much as he can, but of course all those mangonels are going to end up dying. Eagle Warrior's still missing some imp upgrades, so they need to run away for the time being. Do like how Yo is even starting to seal off this side of the map and take the neutral gold at the same time. That's some really nice stuff, but right now it's only 3 Knights and a bunch of skirmishers versus Elite Eagle Warriors that are going to be pretty hard to stop.
Absolutely. The last armor upgrade starting to come in here now as well. We've got a Trebuchet out from Yo. So Trebuchet, of course, like we saw in the last engagement, that's where Hera really struggled. He couldn't get on top of it, couldn't really find a way to get in there and do the damage and prevent this push that comes from Yo. So we'll see if it happens. And it looks like we've actually got Eldorado coming down behind this as well. So those Eagle Warriors going to start looking pretty strong.
Well, somebody go get Dave, because we saw the first Marauder sighting of this tournament. Tarkans? I guess he was assuming that Yo was going for more plumed archers, and Tarkans are obviously an incredible counter to that unit. Nice little bit of dancing here from Hera with these skirmishers, just trying to annoy these Eagle Warriors. Forward castle here from Yo, but the Knights are going to go for some Trebuchet snipes, and there really aren't that many Eagle Warriors to defend. In fact, there is one. Actually, well, one of those Knights is actually at super low HP, so with the
rebuild? Yeah, he's got the rebuild in time. Oh, with the Tarkin!
The Tarkin!
It's going to be enough! That's exciting. That's very exciting.
Barely. And that's actually a really, really big win there for Hera, because it's just going to delay the pressure from him so much. Hera himself will be able to get up to the Imperial Age very shortly, but he is down a good 15 villagers or so, and in the military count, and he's just going for mass Tarkans.
I love it. I love it so much. Tarkans is something we just don't see enough, and they are such an effective unit.
Against Eagle Warriors?
Not against Eagles, against raiding. Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like Knights would be way better, no? Elite Tarkin coming in as well, so this is where Hera's putting his money. He believes in the power of the Torchman.
Oh, here we go, though. Yo with probably one of the more ballsy town centers I've seen in a while as well. Right now, I'm not surprised. Basically, Mr. YOLO after the last game and this one coming forward. So, going to deny that gold. He's going to get it for himself as well. But the Tarkans should hopefully be able to clean that town center up pretty quickly, especially with the Elite upgrade coming in.
Yeah, Elite Tarkin is almost done, but look at this military discrepancy. It is hugely in favor of Yo. Castle is under a ton of fire. Yeah, that town center is, let's call it ambitious. But Eagle Warrior upgrades just about to finish with Blast Furnace. And it looks like we have something we've seen many times before, a Hun, well, just any player getting overrun by Mayans in early Imperial Age, and you just can't be down villagers against Mayans. That's just not a great way to win a game.
We've got quite a few idols there from Hera as well, so really Hera just needs to hold this fight. Going to try and take as much as we can under the town centers by the looks of it. And it's just so many Eagles, so you're right. Right now, we've got 34 compared to 15 military. Mr. Yo, quite a few more villages as well, so we'll be able to just keep popping out these Eagles, keep that rating up. But hopefully with the Tarkans, should be able to deal with this one and then push back across the map. But no, the answer is no.
The answer is indeed no, and that's going to be game number 3 in favor of Yo. Whew. Yeah, that
pressure's on for Hera right now.
Pressure's really on for Hera. You don't want to go down 1-2 already in this, obviously in the Swiss stage here. It's not like the loser of this series is out of the tournament, but they are going to need to, I believe, win out if they lose this series. So there is a good amount of pressure here, and Yo is about to be
Look at those economy stars.
Match point.
Look at him.
Oh,
So
the
many
economy
gold stars right now for Yo.
Oh, it's like it's full kindergarten, class student president right here with all of the gold stars for Yo.
I just like the fact in technology, like as long as you get to the age, you get a star.
Oh yeah,
That's nice. Get some stars.
Everyone gets a star. But yeah, like Yo's economy was so much better. Hera went for 1 TC for way too long, I think, and just it's so hard to make 1 TC work versus Mayans who have a defensive castle and like 2 layers of walls with one of them being stone
that's
walls.
it. What can you do? I like the idea. He put down the aggressive siege workshop, but with that castle there was no way for him to really push into it.
Yeah, like there's just no real way you can get the aggression done, and then Yo just went up to the 3 TCs right away, got that good economy, made the elite Eagle Warrior switch, which I thought was maybe a little bit suspect, but he made it work, so who am I to
But we
complain?
got to see Tarkans.
We did get to see
We got
Tarkans.
to see Tarkans. That's a good sign, guys.
You can see that Tarkans already have the arson upgrade because the arson icon is a torch, and Tarkans already have the torches, so they just get their own arson, do-it-yourself arson. And obviously, overlay guy is AFK, so Turk had to do these transitions himself.
That's all right. It's okay. Give him a break. He's a good guy. But let's jump in. We'll see exactly what's going on. See if we're getting another match coming up right now. But it looks like we are onto a land madness.
That will indeed be the case. Going to spectate games and Hera, and then clicking on the button, and we should be here in just a second. Now Turkman seizing the POV.
Absolutely. But don't worry. We'll send it back to you right now.
Oh, okay. So here we are, guys, in game number 4. This is match point here for Yo. If he wins this game, he will be able to take this series and go up 2-1 in the switch stage. He will be the Blue Mongols here to the west of Land Madness, and to the east of the map in the red, as also the Mongols, will be Hera.
Mongol War. This should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of patches of deers, and depending on the layout of the map, last time we saw a lot of mills with a lot of deers right next to them. Looking towards Hera, we're not getting the same kind of case here. Looking over towards Yo, doesn't look like it's about the same as well, so just lucky map generation at that point, I guess. But Mongols on a map like this, beautiful. We should be in for a very quick, fast-paced game, and I'm just excited to see who's kind of got the better play at this stage.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yo did not do all that well, honestly, when he played Land Madness versus TheMax in their game number 5. He kind of went for some like Men-at-Arms or something with Aztecs, and it just really didn't work out that well. Now going for the Mongols, this is a very scout-dominated map. Turk, tell me what makes this map interesting.
I like the fact it's got these little pieces of ice. You see them around the wood there? Those can't be builted on top of it.
They can't be builted on top of?
They cannot be built on top of, which means
Noted.
It's going to be pure land madness, as the map says.
Wow.
But in all seriousness, it does mean that the economy is quite spread out. You can't really wall in your economy as effectively as you would like to, and there's always going to be a hole. You overchop, there's so many ways for people to get in there, and with scouts, if you can really kind of tie down the map, we've got heaps of little berry bushes around, heaps of little patches of hunt. Mongols, of course, going to want to take those hunts as effectively as possible. So if you've got that maneuverability with scouts, which as the Mongols you absolutely will be wanting to abuse, you can move in, find those villages, and try and really kind of pull away any advantage your opponent will have, while also pulling yourself ahead.
Definitely going to be the case. Do you have to say, Hera had a little bit of idle time, and actually is not taking the boar that's under his TC yet, had to actually start taking the sheep. Oh, don't let the boar run back. Okay. Yeah, Hera's fine, Hera's fine.
It's okay.
But it's going to be a big scout war early on, and of course, Mongols going to be one of the best civs at getting those scouts up and running as soon as possible. And there's just going to be, I think, a long, protracted feudal age play with scouts and spearmen and skirmishers and all that good stuff. Both players are going to be wanting to lure deer because Mongols just love getting all that hunt. Really want to be getting a fast feudal age time just to get some damage in on your opponent.
This is definitely a map as well. We have seen players commit very, very hard to the feudal age. Even we've seen some feudal versus castle age wars as well. So players know in this map, you're not really kind of at a loss if you do go up a little bit later. As long as you're the one with the map control, you're doing damage, keeping your opponent in their base, you are in a really strong position here. And just because it makes it so hard to wall off, because it's such an open map, it's very, very hard to deal with a lot of raiding forces in feudal age.
Yeah, and as you guys can see, the resources are very spread out. You do have a lot of gold and stone and stuff, but it's in these tiny little patches that are just spread out everywhere. Same with forage bushes, wood lines. So that's why we're saying these scouts are so powerful, in addition to not being able to completely wall. Just being able to abuse the mobility, dart in and out, get some kills here and there. It can very easily snowball things out of control in your favor. But we have Loom now on the way for Hera, possibly going to be trying to go up on, what, 17 pop? That is going to be
It's ambitious.
It's going to work. He totally has enough food for it. Yeah, it's 558 food right now. That is a darn fast uptime. Yo, meanwhile, actually, is he clicking without loom? He is. Ooh, that is quite the greedy little play. So he's essentially clicking up at almost the exact same time, but with one more villager. So
I absolutely love it.
Lead.
I absolutely love it. As long as this one scout that we see from Hera can't kind of get onto one of the villages and get a pick, is if he gets the loom as soon as he goes up, he should be okay. And he's actually already got that one queued. So I think that's actually a really good strategic decision from him. As long as this scout of Hera can't get any picks, do any damage, but it looks like Hera's just scouting the wood line now. Hopefully should notice his opponent is loomless, so he's really looking for that one villager that he can kind of jump on top of and really make a little bit of a difference this early.
What the heck is this, Turkman? They don't call him YOLO for nothing. Like, look, he's just 3 villagers. No loom, just going out on the hunt on these forage bushes here, completely exposed.
We did actually have Hera's scout get walled in across the wood line towards the back of Yo there, and he did actually take a villager with him at the same time, though. So, YOLO, I get that he was moving out with these villagers as well, but he still did lose one back at home as well.
Apparently you were ahead of me. That's unfortunate. So... Yep, that is going to be 1 villager down, but, I mean, that happened so fastly. Hera lost a scout, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is something that I've been talking with a few people, and the consensus is that it's actually better to have the scout than the extra villager, just because now the military is in Yo's hands. He should be ahead in scout production and is going to be able to bring the aggression towards his opponent. Still, though, getting the villager is not something you're ever going to complain about this early in the game.
Of course, both players going down with some spears as well, really trying to kind of pad out their army, make those scouts as hard as possible to find any real damage at the moment. And really, we're just about to see a giant dance. Players trying to make the best use of their military as they can at the moment, trying to find whatever damage they can, grab any kind of advantage they can, and especially this early in feudal age as well. So it's all about just trying to find the right position, get the right engagement, and just do whatever damage you can while obviously keeping the minimal losses.
Yeah, Yo getting... actually, no, Yo's totally fine. Just getting some houses and stuff. Spearman actually going to be going out to where all of the villagers are for Yo, not really going for like a forward push with them. It seems to be the case for Hera, just both players. It is a tournament, and it is a very important match at that, so you don't want to lose a bunch of villagers and then subsequently lose the game because of it. Still, though, like I was saying, because Yo killed the scout, he was able to, you know, make something aggressive happen, able to dodge these spearmen, which is really nice.
Hera hasn't seen these 3 villagers up on hunt as well. Luckily enough, Yo does have a spear over there. Was starting to look a little bit far away, but he has started to redo that situation, which is nice. However, he will spot all 4 of these villagers moving out towards a deer over in the western corner, and that should be a villager down.
That should indeed be a villager down. Meanwhile, Yo, not so lucky. He's just running into the TC. Okay, that's a really quick regroup, but 1 more villager down here for Yo. Beautiful play so far from Hera. Able to get 2 early villager snipes in this completely chaotic madness of land map.
On top of this as well, we've got Hera is finally managing to scout out where these villagers are taking hunt from at the front. Potentially could get a couple of hits on one of the villagers there. Just needs to be careful with that spear, and looks like he's trying to pull that spear away. Didn't look like he had the right one there that was locked onto, which is a little bit of a shame because that could have been a great play for him. But both players really committing to the spears right now.
I mean, why not? You don't want to lose more villagers, but this is something that I still think is doing, Hera's doing quite well. He's killed 2 villagers. The fact that he lost a scout early on has not cost him because they've just been avoiding big scout fights, and Hera's been able to position his spearman appropriately so he does not take damage himself. Also on, what, like 10 farms or so versus the 4 of Yo? That's going to be pretty nice for him.
Absolutely. He's looking at getting up in terms of that food count, which either can use for, obviously, military production, but in the end result here, it will just keep building up until he can get to that nice castle age.
Indeed, that will be the case. We have 2 spearmen over here, but they're a little bit out of position. Let's see if Hera can make something happen. Ooh, Hera trying to peel away the spearmen with 1 scout. Yo, not going to be messing around with that. He'll be safe for the time being. See the food count as we actually see an archery range coming in. Hera actually very, very little food in the bank, whereas Yo has around 360 some odd food, and Hera's going to make some sort of feudal age unit. Oh, actually, Yo is as well likely just going to be some skirmishers to hold on until castle age.
So both players starting their transition now. Of course, we did have that little bit of a better eco situation in terms of the food count from Hera. We'll be able to abuse that as time goes on. Looks like he's starting to lock down his base quite well in terms of the walls as well. Yo's still being very, very greedy in the back there, trying to kind of do as much as he can, pull as much of that Mongol hunt and really kind of pull himself an advantage in terms of the food count. Hera just relying on the farms, however.
Yeah, Hera playing much more safely, and in a way it's paying off because he hasn't lost any villagers, but on the other hand, Yo is able to better abuse that Mongol hunt, and I'm pretty sure he still has more food banked up because of it. Indeed he does. See, it's actually a second range here from Hera, so this is actually for archer production, and actually both players are going for some archer production. It's still no second range for Yo. As I say that, he votes the second range, but in come the scouts here for Hera. Quick walls attempted, quick walls succeeded indeed, so that is a very nice little play there for Yo, and 2 spearmen here should help ward away these scouts.
That's the thing, I'm getting worried now that 2 spears aren't going to kind of be enough once they're starting to push in, if they can pull them out of position. We've seen before, Hera keeps trying to lure those spears away, and if he can get kind of one away, then he can take the fight with the spears easy enough, jump on top of the resources, but Yo's just not been falling from it. It's been great control from both players.
Yeah, definitely. Still, though, we have to imagine Hera's a little bit ahead right now, just now getting Wheelbarrow. Yo already has it, now even getting Fletching. Yo just a little bit behind in that. And I think just across the board, we can say that Hera is ahead in most aspects. And Scout's going to be still not able to accomplish a whole lot. Both players very sharp in their defenses.
I'm just trying to figure out who's got real map control right now. Mr. Yo's kind of camping out between the middle here, pretty much as much of the game as he can. Hera keeps trying to find in for any kind of raid he can against Yo. Both players just playing highly mobile right now, and I'd say it's pretty up in the air between both players.
Bloodlines coming in actually for both players, interestingly, so there is a hard commitment to the Feudal Age play. Tower even built defensively for Yo as well, so definitely not wanting to neglect his defenses at home. Not really sure what he's doing all the way over here. Just kind of going back and forth. Military count is pretty much dead even, but yeah, once Fletching comes in, all the upgrades will be even. It's just going to come down to the engagement, and 15 military apiece, just, again, that better economy for Hera.
Alright, looks like we are about to get an engagement in the center here, the first major one of the match, and it looks like Mr. Yo's done a good job keeping all of his army together here.
Great.
Oh, and the scouts are straight on top of the archers. Managed to run around the side there.
That was, I think, a little bit of a mistake for you. I think he could have cut off the archers a bit better. Whose archers will reign supreme in this fight? It is very, very close. Harris numerically has the advantage, though, has another scout coming in, but his scout numbers are getting depleted very quickly to 0, but so are Yo's, and it looks like both armies are more or less just killing each other, and yeah, that seems to be something of a wash.
Well, yeah, that definitely happened, I'll give you that.
Both players had the same army, and then they just killed each other.
Yeah, archers both in one. Mr. Yo holding onto his archers, though. Those are what he really wants to kind of keep alive at this point. So the fact he managed to get a couple of Heras, never really going to hurt him too much there. Still has one of the scouts alive, so can try and get some control, some kind of, I guess, just keeping an eye on where his opponent's army is at this stage. Hera actually sneaking around the other side of the lumber here as well, and trying to find somewhere, but no, doubling back.
Yep, it's going to be still pretty safe play from both of these players. I still think Hera's economy is going to be a fair bit more streamlined. You can see Yo actually taking a lot of stone. Is he going to try and go for a quick Mangudai? It's something actually I've seen him do a lot, like just in normal rated games on Voobly, but for a tournament match, this is quite surprising because, yeah, like Hera's going to be up to Castle Age way faster. You can see that his food bank is indeed much better.
And on top of that as well, Yo's starting to give away that map control and actually getting forced to throw up another tower on this hill does not make things easy, especially if he is looking for that fast Mangudai play like you were talking about. Hera at the moment just being pretty much being able to hold this one. He's taking out all those spears nice and easily, of course, with those archers, just being able to kind of whittle down what is left of Yo and hopefully just be able to keep pushing into the back here, find some damage, and just really make it sting for Yo. And there we go, Hera has clicked up to Castle Age as well.
Indeed he has. He's taking a bit too much damage for my taste onto these archers and scouts, but it depends on what his Castle Age transition is going to be to see if it really matters a lot or not. Yeah, just he's going to be forced back, may end up losing this, but we see the 2 ranges still, no second stable or anything. Yeah, Hera not really tipping his hat as to what he's going to be doing just yet. Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like these archers and scouts are getting pretty cornered by Yo.
Looking for any engagement he can take here. Yo just trying to whittle down those numbers again. We do actually see the archer armor coming in for Hera as well here. Looks like he does want to kind of try and make a little bit more of an archer play as he moves up. Scouts, it looks like they're just trying to get out of there at this point, or There's nothing he can really do. Yo's just going to take this engagement, take the win, have a little bit of a higher military count for now, and Hera's just going to have to push in with that Castle Age army, really try and do some damage. We've actually got a market coming up here at the moment from Yo as well, so we'll be able to kind of propel himself into the next stage a little bit quicker.
I mean, a little bit more quickly, but he's still going to be so far behind Hera. I mean, he's rushing up this market with 2 villagers, but it's going to be at least, you know, what, 80–85% or so that he's further behind Hera when it comes to Castle Age. So if Hera does something even fairly aggressive, it's going to be, I think, really hard for Yo to hold on until he can get up his castle. And even then, Mangudai trained very slowly.
Absolutely, and looking back at Hera's base as well, he's just starting to move out with some more archers, so trying to find somewhere he can do some little bit more damage again. Potentially going to be able to deny that castle from Yo as well. We do have the 2 towers already up, so Yo's starting to kind of solidify where he wants his base to be, and Hera into Castle Age. Let's see what the plan is back home. Crossbow, bodkin arrow, bowsaw coming down. I think it's all pretty obvious choices from him.
I call that the trinity of early Castle Age archer upgrades, because you just want all those upgrades as soon as possible. And of course, with crossbow and bodkin, you'll be able to pick off villagers so much more easily. Yo is getting a house. That is not where you want to build a house. That is pretty awkward for him in terms of defending, because all of these archers, I mean, I guess you can garrison them in the towers and they'll be much more useful there, but it's still going to be something you can't really deal with the crossbowmen that efficiently.
Alright, crossbowmen are moving in from Hera here. Moving in under the towers though, Nili doesn't lose any units, takes a bit of extra damage on top of them. Really trying to find somewhere that he can kind of do a little bit of damage with these. Tower gets rushed up in the woodline, so Hera going to get pushed out of there very, very quickly.
Yeah, and Yo has spent so much of his stone that he's not going to be even close to enough stone for Mangudai. He has almost no wood in the bank. And I really don't like Yo's position. Hera, I assume he got ballistics already. He has the university, 2nd TC for him. 3rd on the way. Like, Hera's just totally chilling, doing whatever he wants. And Yo is just trying to play tower defense, but it's giving him a slower Castle Age. It's going to give him a slower boom. Okay, ballistics just now started. But still, like, I don't really see any angle in which Yo is ahead of Hera.
Absolutely. Hera's just in a really good position here. He's taken map control and he's abusing that as much as possible. Trying to get a couple of villages here as well, and it looks like he doesn't have ballistics quite yet. And that would have definitely been 2 villages for him if he did have it. It's a little bit of a shame there. But if you're putting up 2 town centers, it's a big ask to kind of get all of that in one hit. Looks like we have seen Hera notice Yo moving out across the map with his archers, so he is going to be prepared for that engagement as well. Really, Hera just needs to kind of sit pretty now. Doesn't want to take any engagements that he's not going to at least equal out in. And then from there, just build up that economy behind it.
Yep, +2 armor coming in as well for Hera, so his units will be better upgraded. Military count is pretty similar to Hera, just with a slight edge, of course, but his boom is going to be so much better. Already on 3 TCs, Yo's hitting Castle Age, getting a university, and that's it. Okay, no, that's an interesting castle position.
I guess it defends the wood line there, it defends the gold at the back there, it's closest to the stone and gold on the other side there. Not something I would have 100% predicted, but it does lock down a lot of resources for him. Also keeps this area here quite small, I guess, but hasn't taken the little hill advantage or anything with it, sadly.
Yeah, that's it's kind of just chilling there in the middle of a field. Little bit awkward, but I guess it's fine. This is, like, you can't wall land menace completely though, like that's obviously the whole point of the map. So this will always be an area in which Hera can rush in, and looks like we might have a little bit of a crossbow battle here to the east. The hill advantage versus ballistics, and he's even ceding control of the hill. So yeah, these crossbowmen are not long for this world. Ballistics now on the way for Yo. Husbandry as well, but this is going to be a slow Mangudai transition with a much weaker economy.
Hera's sitting also on 61 villages compared to the 51, so in a really good spot there. High military count, 28 to 16. Like OrnLu was saying, Mangudai going to train extremely slowly behind this. So to get the numbers is going to be quite hard. They're going to be extremely maneuverable once they're up and running, but it's going to take some time to get them there, and I don't know if Mr. Yo has that time at the moment. Essentially is on Hera's time, and every second he takes at the moment, Hera just starts to get further and further ahead.
Oh yeah, this is going to be such a good fight for Hera, with ballistics, with some nice little Hera micro right there, going to clean up all of these crossbowmen. Yo doing a decent job microing, but this fight is clearly going to be in favor of Hera. Look at this little dancing back and forth. All those crossbowmen are getting cleaned up, and it's now we're looking at 91 pop to 57. Yo now just getting a second town center.
That's harsh. It's 27 compared to 1 military. If Hera wanted to, he can move out and just take total map control right now. We do have a second town center down towards the front of Yo's base as well. Stone and gold protection there, and that's pretty much about it. This castle at the moment starting that Mangudai production, but it's just going to take so long to get up and running, and I don't know how Yo's going to get there. Hera just needs to push out and really find somewhere to do some damage and really restrict his movements.
Yeah, the wood lines are... Well, actually, this one's by the castle, but still, this whole left side of Yo's base is still a very, very lightly defended. Town center, I guess, will protect the few villagers there, but the thing is, Hera's already gathering stone with 11 villagers, and he's going to have a castle really soon. And he already has, what, 14 more villagers?
Oh no, is Yo about to lose his 2 Mangudai? Is already assembled as well.
Yeah, with ballistics, those guys are going to have to run for their lives, maybe even have to hop right back into the castle. And again, like, this map is so open, and if you don't have any units to defend and very few stone defenses, it's going to be pretty tricky, though. Crossbowman taking a little bit of fire there from the castle. Nice dodges, though.
Hera very, very aware of what's going on now, so he does know how to treat this one. Over towards the other town center of Yo, however, we have the crossbows coming in. Potentially could deny a lot of villagers here as well, actually. This could be rough.
Oh, villagers getting clumped up on each other. Will lose 2, but it's now a 20 villager advantage for Hera. Like, this is just so getting out of hand in favor of Hera. He now has Thumb Ring on top of everything else. Like, Hera just had a way more streamlined game so far.
He's also denied the 3rd town center from Yo, so he will continue to snowball his own economy behind this. He's got a good amount of farming up. His space isn't restricted at all, so he's been able to just expand out all over the map. And as long as he keeps holding Yo in position like this, he really doesn't need to be too worried about a big counterattack coming through. As long as he keeps an idea on where those Mangudai are, which he has with the crossbows now, he should be in a relatively good position to really be able to push anything back. And his town centers that he has got up, all in really good defendable locations as well. So he shouldn't be too worried about any push really coming in. And actually starting to put down a defensive castle on the hill as well, so looking like he'll be in a good position there. That
is a beautifully placed defensive castle, and there's just so little of Hera's economy that is exposed to raiding.
Oh, big hit on the Mangonel there, though, from Hera. That hurts.
That's some OrnLu spectating right there. Pro move, and that is
nearly all of Hera's crossbows gone to a single Mangonel. Amazingly well played there by Mr. Yo, and it looks like he will be over in the back as well with those Mangudai, trying to clean up those crossbows. It looks like the crossbow numbers should be just about enough for Yo.
just enough crossbow numbers for Yo. But yeah, it's I think the that is some nice micro there from Hera. I still think Yo should be fine, but there's only gonna be 1 Mangudai left, and not a whole lot. Hera clicking up to Imperial Edge, like it was a nice Mangonel hit to kill all those crossbowmen, but it really doesn't matter. And I'm not just saying that because I missed the shot. Like, Hera, he's switching over to Mangudai himself. Mongol Wars are literally all about Mangudai as you get to Imperial Age. Who has more of them? Who can produce them with better upgrades? And it's the dude who's going to hit Imperial Age first with 20 more villagers.
Hera dropping down his 2nd castle as well, so going to have double the production of Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo dropping down an extra town center. He knows he's behind in this one. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4 town centers for Yo. So he will start to slowly catch up behind this one. And it looks like, oh, that castle is going to be denied for a minute there as well from Hera. And Yo going to be able to sit on that hill for a little bit just until we do have the numbers come up from Mr. Yo. This is where it was really annoying for Hera to lose those crossbows. He doesn't really have anything to push into this at the moment. He's got 10 military compared to the 6, but he's been just caught out of position here again.
Well, here's the thing, though. Yo's nowhere near Imperial Age. So long as Hera can produce enough Mangudai to at least catch up and like deal with these few Mangudai of Yo, he can get this castle up, and then he'll be totally fine. And Yo's, like, he's powering on 4 TCs. That's good as far as catching up with economy goes, but it's just going to delay his Imperial Age time so much. And, like, the thing with the Mongol Mirror is there is very, very little strategic diversity when it comes to late game. It's literally just about Mangudai, who has more and with better upgrades. It is just not... You just can't really just play, I think, like, full Castle Age versus Imperial Age very well at all.
Yeah, Yo basically just stalling, trying to get himself some time now at the moment, but even then, he's only got 200, 300 food in the bank. He's still a long ways off moving up to the next stage. Ooh, some camels actually getting mixed in for Hera now as well, trying to really deal with those Mangudai as best as possible. Nili did actually take that castle down, had it down to about 300 HP there, so really doing a good job in terms of just trying to time out his opponent here, but Hera... Imperial Age coming in, 2nd castle coming up, he's going to look really strong, but these Mangudai again, Mr. Yo just doing a really good job at cutting down the numbers, and again, he's denied that castle.
Yo is doing a much better job here than I thought he would at being able to deny this castle. Hera just not really able to cobble together the units he needs to get this thing established. Upgrades are, I think, pretty much even between the two players, but Hera in the Imperial Age now going to be able to get Bracer, Chemistry, all that good stuff you need to get Mangudai. And the thing is, Yo is still needing to catch up a little bit in Villagers, and he's been on 4 TCs. I actually have no idea how many TCs he's on right now. He's just spread all over the map with this this map control. But again, there's going to become a point when this tech difference is going to really show, and Hera is just going to be waiting until he can get enough Mangudai to roll out. But again, this castle's still denied.
I agree. Like, this has been a really good play from Yo. He's digging for time as best he can. Yes, he's behind in terms of upgrades, but he's trying to limit his opponent's production as much as possible. Hera has already put up another castle towards the north, so he is on 2 production there. We have seen a second castle come up for Yo towards the middle of the map as well, so he's going to be in a relatively good situation in terms of locking it down. But this castle position from Hera, the new one, fantastic. It locks down a stone, it locks down a gold, and it even keeps the line of sight over most of that north side of the map as well.
Yeah, certainly, but, and importantly, I think it's the production value is going to be the most important thing. You see Yo acting to tech into skirmishers. That is never what you want to be doing in a Mongol mirror, because Mongols also lacking that last archer armor upgrade, making their skirmishers that much worse against mass Mangudai. And it's just Yo sort of conceding that he is just behind and needs to do something in order to catch up, hopefully take a good fight with a bunch of skirmishers. But, again, he still has more military. I guess Hera's just focusing on the upgrades right now, and he does have +4/+4, and against +2/+2, so he can dip and dance a little bit, but still, Yo's doing a pretty good job of stalling.
Absolutely, he's continuing to deny that castle. We've got another castle coming up over towards the east by the looks of things there, or at least Hera's put down a foundation. He hasn't actually started it, I guess. Weird one for him there. But Yo is still holding on to this castle in the center here at the moment, trying to push out from there. And again, Hera just being forced to take these engagements against higher numbers than he wants to. He's got the absolute upgrades to be able to try and push for a fight, but Yo still has the numbers.
Yo does have the numbers, but he's now being forced away. He knows he just can't fight forever against Mangudai that have better upgrades than his own. And now we have Elite Mangudai on the way for Hera. That is obviously going to be the huge difference maker. You're going to have full upgrades on these bad boys. And this is going to be coming in just as Yo hits Imperial Age. He needs to get all of his upgrades himself. The one thing I am a little bit surprised about is the lack of trebuchets for Hera. I mean, he's been in Imperial Age for a while, and we still haven't seen any trebuchets.
I guess he's just been trying to get those Mangudai numbers up to be able to deal with Yo, get him out of his face, essentially, so we can get the rest of his castles up. Then the production starts to kick in. Hera actually starting to get, there we go, Elite Mangudai just finishing up now. We do have the trebuchets out on the moment, and it looks like, yes, Hera actually trying to push forward with those castles as well. Might be a little bit greedy towards the north there, though, with those Mangudai coming in again. Might be stuck again trying to get it up, and it just not happening.
Yeah, honestly, like, Yo's ability to deny that castle for so long might have just been enough to keep him back in the game. Like, that is just so impressive. He's not in a good spot, don't get me wrong. There is still a trebuchet out. He's still having to reconcile the fact that his opponent has fully upgraded Elite Mangudai, and he still needs to get there, but he's definitely not out of this game. He's only like 600 score behind, which at this stage isn't that crazy. That, like, wow, that, like, the ability to even just not be dead right now is so impressive.
Hera doing a great job trying to find any raiding opportunity he can, catching a couple of skirms off guard there. But Mr. Yo at the moment still up in terms of the military count. I do believe Hera has got way more castles on field as well, especially finishing up those extra 2 that he was looking for. But not looking quite so good. Yo does push into one of those castles there, loses 2 Mangudai to that before he can get out of the situation. But more and more trebuchets starting to join the fight for Mr. Yo. So now it's going to come down to who can knock those castles down while taking the least losses.
Yeah, indeed, another castle coming up on the left side for Yo. 2 trebuchets trundling forward as well. But again, we're looking at Mangudai that don't have the elite upgrade versus Mangudai that do have the elite upgrade. Guess which one's better? It's the elite ones. And once this big fight happens, is elite worth 9 Mangudai in a big Mangudai shootout? I think it is.
Well, we're definitely about to find out. Looks like he's about to come in, hopefully pop those trebuchets down, but no, starts shooting towards the Mangudai. Was kind of expecting him to just try and take the trebuchets, get out of there and just try and get his numbers up, but there we go. 1 trebuchet does go down. He's aiming for the second one now as well. Second trebuchet goes down so quickly to those Mangudai, and his castle will survive for another day. Just needs to finally start getting that numbers sorted out. Once he has that, he's got his upgrades. He'll be in a good place to really start taking these fights confidently.
Okay, Elite Mangudai has been completed for Yo, so both these players are working with those numbers. Yo still just a little bit ahead in terms of military count, but you see Castle forward coming here for Hera, and Mangudai coming over, of course, to support the trebuchets. Now the shoe is going to be on the other foot, as they say. and Yo's going to have to try and snipe these trebuchets, but that is going to be a pretty tall order as the Mangudai numbers are essentially even, with Hera's much better production between all of these castles.
This is fantastic play by Hera. He was having a little bit of trouble there starting to deal with the numbers from Yo, but with his extra castles he's really been able to do it. Mr. Yo regrouping, trying to find another point he can kind of attack. May catch a lot of these Mangudai actually coming in to reinforce. Hera actually pulling most of them away in time, which is fantastic. Yo pulling off that maneuver he's done so many times now, just dashing around to the other side of the front, flanking, taking out the expensive units that are really kind of giving Hera the ability to push, and then dealing with that situation. Just buy himself a little bit more time again.
Hera is on 142 villagers right now, so his economy is way better. His resource income, he's got 40 gold miners right now, and if you go to Yo, he's like almost dead broke. But what Yo is doing because of this is he's switching over into some skirmishers, which aren't doing that badly against the Mangudai. Like, yeah, they die pretty quickly, but they're not, you know, they can hold their own at least for a little bit. He actually has 35 idle villagers right now as he's just trying to stay alive, as both players are just placing castles absolutely everywhere. And man, like, it's just Yo completely trying to hold on versus these trebuchets, but actually he might be able to get this castle. No, never mind. There's a bajillion Mangudai there.
That's it. All it takes is to dash in with the Mangudai, get out of there, and they're gone pretty quickly. But like you were saying, the skirmish is essentially just a low-cost meat shield that can sit in front of this, the Mangudai. They will take a little bit of a hit before they are killed off, but it looks like, oh, on the other side, Hera loses his trebuchets as well. Get ready for this, guys. We're going to see, this is basically going to be a dance of tactics. Whoever makes the better decisions here, no one's really got an advantage in terms of the tech tree, obviously, but Hera got a little bit of an advantage in terms of the villager count for now.
Large advantage in terms of village. Got like 30 villagers, and he has more military now because he has more castles. Yo, 0 stone. Hera, 866 stone. He hasn't been able to gather so much stone. Land Bandits actually has a lot of stone. It's just a matter of, you know, being able to go spread out on the map and gather it all. You can see that this castle is absolutely dead. It's a 20 military advantage. Turns out that having more Mangudai that are better upgraded is better than the other way around. And yeah, like this is... There's literally nothing you can make that's going to be especially good here for Yo.
He just needs to, again, try and hold, get the time, but at the moment, Hera's just pushing so effectively. He's just jumping on top of all those Mangudai he can, using those trebuchets, but Yo again dashes in, gets another trebuchet for free, gets out of there, and just nearly halts the push as well.
But Hera can still make more castles. He has 19 stone miners.
He's got so much stone, it's absolutely ridiculous. He can literally just push with castles right now.
Yeah, and then he's even making the tech switch into hussars behind this, just to round out his military that much more. And Yo's not going to be able to afford this few Mangudai running by. Going to be trying to get some raiding done. Even a town center is going to go down. Yep, DE, for some reason, the rocks seem to almost always do the full damage even after the trebuchet died. That's a little bit different than back in Will of the Kingdoms and stuff, but nonetheless, it's a 70 population advantage for Hera. That this is this is not going to be Yo's game.
Yo's doing his best to hold in, but with the difference we're seeing now, Hera just has such an advantage in terms of the villager count, the military count. Yo just can't keep up. It's just about stalling at this stage, trying to get yourself back into the game however you can, but in reality, as long as Hera doesn't make any huge mistakes, he doesn't overcommit to any push, this should just be Hera's game. It's his to lose at this point, and it looks like he's putting himself in a pretty good spot. He's just continuing to castle up, continuing to move forward with those trebuchets, keep them as well defended as possible, and just shrink down Yo's ability to build up.
Well, to be fair, that was a pretty terrible fight for Hera. He just went in with like half of his Mangudai, but I just don't think it matters. He still is going to have the way better production. It's 142 villagers to 95. Hera just taking down every single castle of Yo. Is Yo down to 1 castle? Yeah, he's just down to the 1 castle. So that is not enough for Mangudai production. And this game is over 6 ways to Sunday. And it's, yeah, there's GG.
There's the GG. Yo trying to get those skirmishes out, but it just wasn't enough to really be able to hold off the Mangudai, of course. And we are going to game number 5 of the series. This has been absolutely incredible. Both players deserve this one at this stage, and I guess the thing is, it comes down to Yo's home map.
Yeah, Yo is going to be the one who gets that last home map, and that's going to be 2 series in a row that go to 5 games. Wow.
This is fantastic. This is
quite
really
the marathon.
fantastic. Today is going to be a long day. I have a feeling we're going to be here till late. Or I'll be here till late.
I'll be watching until late. Anyway, you can see here, this really is the entire story of this game, guys. 3,000 more stone, 6,000 more gold, and then just a little more food and wood. It's just he had the better economy, and there's a very, very little you can do to catch up at that point. And yeah, you see the timeline, the Imperial Age difference is massive, the Castle Age difference was pretty big as well, and just there was no way Yo could come back. But this is going to be so exciting going to the last game. Game number 5 on Regicide Fortress of all maps is where it's all going to go down.
It seems like it always starts and ends at Regicide Fortress with Age of Empires 2 for some reason, depending on the decade you're looking at, but absolutely crazy to think about. This is the map Yo's picked. I like to think he's going to be more confident on it, so hopefully he's going to give himself a little bit of an advantage with that, but at the same time, Hera's just proven in this one he's confident in every single stage of the game now. He's been able to co-ul Yo at most of his times in terms of his ability, but Yo's just been able to just pull off some absolutely ridiculous strategies that shouldn't work, but he's been getting away with them somehow.
Yeah, it looks like Hera he's feeling the pressure. He needs to take a moment to collect himself before this last game, because this is, like we've been saying, so important as, well, the loser of the series, they're not out, but they would have to win out at that point. And meanwhile, you have the winner who is going to be at least in a pretty good spot to move on to the knockout stage. And it is all going down to Regicide Fortress, a map that I do favor Yo on. It favors his, he's played it so many times as an old school player. And then Hera, a little bit newer player, but I think the thing is, Yo just, I think, has that little bit of a better late game, but still, Hera is going to be totally viable because that Arabia game definitely sold his late game to me.
All right, so what do you think we're going to see in terms of civs here?
Oh, Chinese Mirror, 100%.
Chinese Mirror? Yeah.
Like 100%.
Like, I noticed that both of them hadn't been picked as well.
Yeah.
Like Chinese Mirror. Do you think someone's going to expect the Chinese, though, and go for a counter?
What counter?
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think about it. They're just so strong right now. And that's the thing. We've seen Aztecs used, we've seen Mayans used. Like, yeah, this is hard.
I guess someone could try going for the YOLO Goth play. Okay, looks like overlay guys shrugging, saying they probably have started. So, yes, they have. Oh, let's go, guys.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Let's go.
Humans versus Chinese.
Let's do this, boys and girls. Game number 5, Regicide Fortress. It all comes down to this series match point on the line for both players, as the blue Cumans to the south of the map will be Mr. Yo and his opponent winning the last game in a quite dominant fashion, as the much more predictable Chinese will be Hera. What do you think of the Cumans pick for Yo?
Look, they've received a lot of nerfs recently, which is probably the big thing behind them. But we saw Viper take them and do something absolutely ridiculous, so I'm hoping Yo's got a plan behind this one as well. At this level of play, you don't kind of take a civ that you think's a bit average at best to kind of really go into a game unless you've got a distinct plan with it. With an execution, you're really, essentially going, this could do it very, very quickly, especially in the last game of a best of 5 series. So I think Yo's got a plan here. He's going to have something to work with. What it's going to be, I'm not sure. We saw a feudal ram situation from Viper in the last game. Maybe he just goes for some random king snipe. Who knows? I'm excited, though. Very excited.
I think that would be a little too much to ask for, because
I think so too, absolutely.
You have the castle, you have the towers. It's going to help you out a fair bit. But 2TC Boom, maybe try to use Kipchoks to take map control and then go to a bajillion Step Lancers in the late game. Remember, Cumans do have siege onagers to help deal with the Chukunu, even if they don't have siege engineers. But again, Chinese, their eco is going to be so strong as well. You can see Hera 3 villagers ahead consistently. In case you guys don't know, you start with more food and wood. I believe it's about 500 food and wood on Regicide, and then 0 gold and 150 stone. So even though you start with less resources as Chinese, it's still enough to get your villager production going constantly, and you guys can really take advantage of those 3 extra villagers. And Fuel Age actually going to be coming a little bit first for Yo, and this is likely going to be so he can boom on 2 TCs.
Hera at the moment, just having a look at the relics as well, really well laid out for him. He's actually got one towards his eastern side, one towards his north. And then I would say even the next 2 still highly debatable in terms of who they're kind of a little bit closer to. Then one way off over in the western corner for Mr. Yo. So I'd say Hera definitely a little bit of an advantage here when it comes to taking it. The map looking extremely sparse as well.
Yeah, but look at these cliffs for Hera. This is super sick for him. Just wall here, this is actually walled. One house walls this. A neutral gold and stone here. Oh man, this is just all going Hera's way right now. And then this is a very easy wall as well. Even this neutral gold is way in Hera's corner of the map. He has both neutral golds and a neutral stone, like in his little section of the map.
This is actually huge. Yo's only really got access to 2 gold piles.
He has 3.
Was it 3rd? Oh, yep, hiding on the desert. I see
Yeah,
it.
it's fine.
I need glasses.
I'm the colorblind one. It's all good. I mean, this gold is relatively safe that you can take. The castle's right here, as are some towers. The stone situation, main one, pretty normal looking position. This one shouldn't be that bad as well. Like, Yo's map isn't that bad. Woodlines maybe a little bit on the underwhelming side, but nothing you can't work with. Here we go. 9 villagers building this TC right away. It takes forever to build a TC in the feudal ages, Kuman, so this 9 villagers, it's not even overkill.
He knows what he wants, at least. So moving out, getting that town center out, we do have Hera going up a little bit slower, of course. He knows what he's after as well. He wants that earlier castle age, get those extra town centers for himself down, and then build up from there. As we've kind of seen, we've seen a lot of Regicide Fortress on the stream at this point. We do know it is a little bit slow before it kind of picks up, but once it gets going, we have some of the biggest fights you will ever see in Age of Empires.
Oh yeah, and this map is just a classic. I think when you're looking for making a tournament map pool, Regicide Fortress is always in the discussion. You know, it's players like it so much. Yeah, it has a bit of a slower start, but it's at least faster than Arena. And yeah, you can see interesting market placement. I feel like it kind of blocks a lot of pathfinding, but I guess he wants that quickly. And no villagers going over to the stone just yet. Hera, he'll probably be fine getting up to Castle Age. Likely just going to be a bit of a more defensive approach, and we're going to have to see if the Mass Chukonu play is going to be enough to deal with Kuman's.
Mr. Yo actually getting inside of Hera's walls here as well, having a good look around, seeing what's going on. I don't think he's going to find anything exciting there whatsoever. Market Blacksmith, pretty much to be expected. Hera actually deleting a lot of walls from this kind of north side out as well, just looking like he wants some room to kind of work with here, and probably where he's going to start dropping downtown centers.
Yeah. Oh, rip that scout. As humans, you do have the slightly faster movement speed, so you can run away, but unfortunately for Yo, he did just tank a bunch of arrow fire from the town center. And Hera up on his way to the Castle Age. Likely going to be placing an extra town center right there. He's mining villagers. Villagers are mining stone. He's going to likely place another town center maybe like right here. Should be good for him. He's taking a bunch of villagers off of gold right now because you need to mine 200 to get to Castle Age. And yeah, everything is looking pretty standard for him. Yo, not too concerned about Castle Age just yet, focusing on the boom.
Exactly, that's going to be the big thing with humans behind this. Still have access to that secondary town center. It does take a long time to build, as you pointed out, though. But he's in no real rush. He can get his build up from there, start getting his resources in, start having that advantage. Then on his way up to Castle Age as well, can still continue to build those villages as well. So he's going to be in a relatively even situation.
Yeah, it's obviously a very conscious decision that Yo is making, but he's not building a stable right now to make some scouts to even try and deny relics from his opponent, because in addition to losing his scout, meaning that, Hera has his to protect relics and whatnot from eventual monks, but, I mean, Hera's going to be up to Castle Age so much faster that you would imagine he can just plop down a monastery and just take 4 relics, maybe? Without, like, any care in the world, unless you go full DauT style, where you just go to the far side of the map and just try and YOLO take all 5.
Yeah, it didn't work out quite so well last time.
No, it didn't.
But looking at this one as well, I'm just checking out Mr. Yo's point of view. He actually barely knows where any of the relics are whatsoever. He can see one in the center of the map. All the other ones are still pretty much clouded over at the moment in the fog of war. So that's going to make things a little bit more difficult as we do start to get into the Castle Age.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate for him. Obviously, losing the scout is quite a big blow right there, and at this point, Castle Age coming in, you want your king back in that, at least a tower. Otherwise, he will likely die to random Chukonu. But yeah, king right in that tower, king for Mr. Hera in the castle. All of his towers are forward, to be fair. And
Right.
Monastery coming in instantly as well.
Absolutely, really wants to try and get those relics as quickly as possible. We do see a stable market going up for Mr. Yo as well, so taking a little bit of your advice, wants to get out onto the map, take some control, and just snipe any monks that he possibly can. Of course, Hera at this position is really looking for that extra town center up behind this as well. Get some Chukunus out, manage to get some kind of map control behind it, then he's going to be sitting pretty.
Oh, I didn't even see this extra gold over here right in the corner of Hera's base. That is
Oh, wow.
This dude's map, it's so insane. I guess
Yeah, you better win this one.
like, okay, this gold is a little bit forward and out in the open, but having both the neutral golds and a neutral stone at your disposal, that's just so nice for him. Market on the way, scouts on the way. Yo's gonna at least try and deny some of these relics because you just don't want to give your opponent 5 relics on a map that is so likely to go to the late game.
Absolutely. We've actually got Hera starting to move up into what he wants. He's got Bowsaw out now. He's getting his town center production up, so he's starting to look really solid with that one as well. Third one already in play. You're going to be stuck a little bit behind until then, until he gets to the castle age. At least he can continue building villages on the way up, but until then, going to be a little bit of a good chance for Hera to catch up.
Actually, he's grabbing Wheelbarrow too, so he has 0 villager production right now.
Maybe not then.
But still, he has a good, 6-7 villager lead at this point. Going to probably end up being around maybe 5 or so, maybe even a little less. The thing is, the Kuman eco bonus, it's very good, like, don't get me wrong, but it's less good on Regicide Fortress because a lot of the value you get is in the fact that it's a good defensive. Like, the town center is a good defensive play, and that doesn't really matter on Regicide Fortress when you can just go Fast Castle Triple TC as a counter.
All right, looks like we've got our first monk kind of picking up here in the middle. Hera going to get that relic nice and easy. Did have a secondary monk there, had his scout as well, so he's in a good enough position for that. Yo is scouting out, trying to find all these relic positions. Looks like he has found most of them by now as well. So just going to camp on those ones, hopefully get a pick or two from Hera if he's lucky, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yep. Camping the scout over here, we'll likely find the relic over to the left of the map. This one, if Hera chooses to go for it, which I think this monk is exactly doing, that's going to be quite nice for him. Also, Chuko, new production beginning for Hera. Absolutely nothing out of the ordinary for this guy. Just going full standard Chinese mode. And ooh, no Kipchoks right away.
Hello.
Double stable Step Lancer. I thought it would just be the one stable for a few scouts and then continue to boom, but Yo clearly has something in mind here. Trying to make the new Civ work.
Got a little bit of a scout fight going down towards the north as well, just to secure that relic while you're at it. Looks like everyone's obviously going to try and secure those as quickly as possible. Step Lancers are moving out onto the field as well now. We're very insanely strong last patch. Now, though, they've copped a lot of nerfs, so it'll be interesting to see how they actually manage to perform. And I think this is actually the second time we've seen them now.
Yeah, I think we saw this exact matchup earlier. I think Viper against somebody. I forget who, but it was just the Chukunu just shredded through everything that the Kuman player attempted. And I'm honestly a little bit worried for Yo. He's already falling behind economically because even though he's getting his 3rd TC up right now, it's behind Hera's, who's still in a super good position economically. These Step Lancers are coming out, but at best, they're going to, get Hera down to 2 relics? Because he's definitely taking that one. He's almost certainly going to take that one. So yeah, it's Yo going to possibly secure 3 relics for himself, but I don't think that's worth falling behind economically here against Chinese.
Looks like he will get the monk and everything there as well, which is just kind of nice to see in general. So he is making these units really work for it, which is good. Potentially actually, ooh, nope. Going to get that one out of there, which is kind of nice as well. Was waiting for him to look around with the scout, but at the moment, Step Lance is just kind of patrolling the middle, trying to keep that map control as best as possible. Hera, like he said, does have a bit of a villager advantage at the moment, 65 compared to 50 or 60 at this point overall, and score basically just moving back and forth as both players stay extremely interesting in terms of what they're doing, very succinct as well. It's going to come down to when the fighting starts that we really start to see some difference.
Hera sneaking in with that monk right there to grab relic number 2 for him. And of course he does have the 3rd one that's very close to his base as well, right here after picking it up after the scout has fallen. And this is still just such a good spot for Hera. He's got all the resources he could ever need. He's got the economic advantage. He's already working towards his best unit, the Chuko Nu, and the Step Lancers really haven't gotten as much done as you would think they need to.
At this point, we're pretty much just waiting for Hera to get that resource. He does need to get up into Imperial, final off on a lot of his upgrades, and then start getting nice and aggressive against these Step Lancers. The Chukunu is going to be really interesting to see how they do perform versus the Step Lancers. We have seen them just absolutely shred through everything that stood in their way thus far, and without some insane control behind these things, I'm not sure exactly what Yo can bring to the table.
I don't really know either, to be honest. Clearly his plan is just mass Step Lancers with whatever siege he needs to throw in, but Step Lancers are more expensive than Chuko Nu. They cost food as opposed to wood. He's already behind Hera economically, And the Chukonu are already starting to push out on the map. Yo will be... The Step Lancers did at least secure Yo 2 relics, I think. Wait, no. Did Hera get a 4th one? Just assume that the one to the far left would be in favor of Yo.
I'm seeing 3 in the monastery.
No, the Muck was actually just about to hit Yo's base, so... Relic has been located, so it will be 3 relics to 2 in favor of Hera. But you can see he's just having a way stronger economy right now.
Alright, what can we do with these step lands? We've got Hera moving out, starting to take control of these hills with some castles. Really good play by him, locking down for the late game. Like you were saying earlier, with these hills and cliffs as well, these cliffs, he can lock off that entire north side of his base so easily, have a very secure economy behind that as well, which will take a lot to break into. So Yo, at the moment, you really need to kind of make something happen here, and I'm worried these Chukonu are going to start pushing and there's going to be no answer to it whatsoever. Hera already on his way up to Imperial as well, and looks like we're pretty much just waiting on Yo at this point.
Yep, Hera also preempting the switch over into pikemen. He knows that his opponent's going to be Kumans, making a lot of cavalry. That makes sense. Yo, not too far away from Imperial H himself, but obviously is going to be slower than his opponent. Hera also making a 4th town center over on the far east of the map, just to secure that neutral gold income now while he has the map control. I love that play from our red player. It's going to be just so good. Where are these villagers going for Yo?
That's what I was just checking them. My guess is they might be wanting to put up a castle to kind of try and lock this one down. But the outpost are there. He's got a good amount of line of vision, but let's see exactly what he does want to go for here.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it has to be a castle, right? That's the only thing that makes sense, but...
Absolutely.
He doesn't know about the gold over here to the east.
What could be the plan? He goes for a castle here and uses this as a staging point, potentially on one of the hills? That's all I can really think of at this stage.
Yeah, I suppose so, and
Yep, there we go. Yeah, so he tries to lock Hera in, I guess, a little bit.
The thing is, Hera's a good 45% faster to Imperial Age, so he's going to be way ahead in the Treb War.
Absolutely.
And Yo might not even be able to scout the little economy thing to the right of Hera's base. And yeah, Chukonu already in fairly sizable numbers, and this is not looking good for Yo.
Not at all. As far as military goes, we're at 18 to 10. Villager count, we're 98, so it has evened up on that front. But like you were saying, Hera, we're literally about to have Imperial Age ready to pop. He can drop out those trebuchets so quickly and just really start nailing down those castles of Mr. Yo before he can really do too much with them. Yeah,
and I just love how Hera already has the pikemen preempted. They're going to be an excellent meat shield against the Southerners. Ooh, this is going to be a nice little bit of a pickup for Yo. Both monks are going to be poked to death by the mounted pokers. And yeah, going to at least prevents a couple conversions from coming in. Forward stables from Yo going to be, of course, making additional step lancers because that is going to be the core of his army. And he's getting close to Imp, but yeah, Bracer chemistry is going to be really strong against the step lancers.
Alrighty, so what's the play here is the real question. We do have Hera coming out with his first trebuchet. Hopefully should just be going forwards. Yep, this castle straight away. Just a little bit worried the Step Lancers might be able to dart in straight on top of it. He doesn't really have anything there to kind of defend it. Chukonu are very out of position. And then behind that as well, we do have the Step Lancers just dealing with these villagers very, very quickly. Moving on top of that trebuchet and should deal with that one as well. But it looks like the villagers will come in for the repair and force the Step Lancers away.
Cavalier actually, interestingly, on the way here for Hera. I haven't really seen Cavalier, you know, versus Step Lancers too much post-nerf. I know that pre-nerf, Step Lancers absolutely massacred heavy cavalry, but they kind of did that with every unit. So we'll have to see how the Step Lancers perform, because obviously there's no Paladin option. But, I mean, I guess if you're as rich as Hera is right now, you shouldn't have too much of a problem affording it.
We do have Hera starting to take down this castle now as well. Second trebuchet is on the way to start taking that one down. So it really is up to Yo at this point to lose this castle or make some kind of play to keep it. The only thing is he doesn't have the units, he doesn't have the military to push into this. So this castle actually might just go down in general.
He's like trying to go through a stone wall with Step Lancers, which is going to take a nice long while. And yeah, the Chukonu can even snipe the trebuchets pretty easily if they really wanted to do that. You can see that they're not even in range of the castle because there isn't even fletching for Yo, but I mean, the castle's going to go down and Yo's going to be forced to retreat. Halberdier coming in as well, still doesn't have the +4 defense. If I can click on unit, okay, he does have Elite Step Lancer, that's at least something. But Hera is just getting everything he wants right now. I just have been randomly checking this to decide, look at this ballsy TC from Yo, right near his opponent's, like, quote-unquote neutral goal. I mean, he knows he's got to do something in this game, because Hera's map and Civ, of course, are so darn good.
Just going to interrupt quickly and just say that Yo has lost that castle on the side there as well, so the Trebs will go down to those Chukonus very, very quickly now, and there's not too much that can happen. Step Lancers will move in on top top of this force as well, but all Hera has to do is just retreat back to the castle, and that's all it takes to deny this push from Yo.
Well, the thing is, like, this area isn't really worth anything for Yo. It's not like Step Lancer's in this position to deny any resources. Again, remember, he doesn't actually see the economy on the right-hand side, because that's... Oh, wait, he saw the lumber camp. At least, you know, technically. So maybe that'll tip him off. But yeah, Chukonu will be able to shred through these trebuchets. Halberdiers coming in as well already. I just love that Yo's even, like, trying to go for this. Ooh,
Cavalier taking a bad engagement there over the hill as well. We'll try and get out of there as quickly as possible, but it just doesn't make it easy. I guess the one thing with the Step Lancer is the range does make it very, very easy for them to engage even fleeing units at that point, but all these stables at the moment are just going to get torn down for Yo, and Yo really needs to be finding himself a question in terms of what he can do here. We do have Yo moving across the western side of the map with a bunch of villages as well, but here comes the fight. Step Lancer's moving in on top of the Halberdiers. We've got Cavalier, Chukonu backing that up as well. So what can Yo do is the real question.
He's got a lot of resources, so he needs to think of something to do, but there's a lot of Halberdiers on the way here for Hera. Remember, of course, Cumans, even after the nerf, are faster with their cavalry, a little 5% faster than our Heras, and Step Lancers are pretty fast in general. What Yo might be able to do is just abuse that mobility and pick off random Chukonu, and this is a mighty exposed-looking clump of Chukonu, as the trebuchet over here actually accidentally scouted the town center to the far east, and Chukonu can't really bunch up in a corner that well versus the power of the ranged Step Lancer.
Yeah, this is a really good engagement here for Hera overall. We have seen a lot of it get cleared up, but Yo at the moment managing to take a good engagement, gets rid of a lot of those Chukonu that are annoying him, and even puts up a castle on the opposite side of Hera's base as well. Starts looking for everything he can, notices the town center here as well. Will deny this in terms of an economy spectrum as well.
Yeah, we also see Yo getting the Step Husbandry tech, I believe it's called, and it makes your light cav train like almost instantly. Like, it's insane how fast these guys will train. He's still making Step Lancers primarily, but I guess as a trash unit supplement, it is going to be very, very good. But still, again, the trebuchet advantage is in favor of Hera. Military count is pretty close, and we have to imagine that the Step Lancers are going to be the most population-efficient unit on the map right now.
Alright, Yo, what can you do here? You've got Halberdiers coming in against your Step Lancers on the other side. You threw up that castle on the opposite side of the map, but at the same time, Hera saw it. He had the trebuchets there ready to effect. Yo has just been on the back foot this entire game. He really needs to find somewhere to kind of run in, do some kind of damage with these units, and the Halberdiers getting up on top of the Step Lancers. They're still kind of getting taken out there relatively well, because, of course, the Step Lancers can just back up easy enough, but, of course, look at that, Halberdiers starting to get that bonus damage in and really starting to take them down.
Step Lancers trying to come in, snipe some trebuchets. They are so good at it. We'll at least get 2, but there's still 2 more, and Hera has plenty of stone, and Yo is running out real fast. Hera's still ahead economically, has over double the military of his opponent right now. Archery range is coming in for some skirmishers, but now Hera's just going like full cavalier mode. That is going to do really well versus those skirmishers.
Absolutely. And the castle on the other side at the moment, it is under so much pressure. They did take out a lot of those trebuchets that were there. However, Hera's just been able to repop, and it looks like we are sending off another raiding force again. Halberdiers jumping on top of those trebuchets, because why not at this stage? Like you said, the Cavalier joining the fight as well, and Hera just looking like he needs to find a way to push this one back and just call it a game.
Well, the castle's dead, those trebuchets are dead, all these villagers are dead, this town center will shortly be dead, and Hera has a larger, better army. So this is looking really rough for Mr. Yo. Like, maybe if he can get out, like, if he could get onto siege onagers, that would be insane, but like that's so expensive and takes forever to do, and he doesn't have the villagers for it, so I'm not really sure what his out is here.
Yeah, this is really interesting to see, considering this was his home map. He had this free pick of civilization in terms of what he wanted on it. That's just worked out very badly for him. Town center is officially down now, so Mr. Yo has been pushed away from Hera's side of the map pretty much entirely. Hussar upgrade has come in for Mr. Yo though, so is looking for somewhere he can kind of do some damage with these guys, but like we said, Hera's just so good in terms of his layout of his base.
And the thing is, Yo is very much like completely strapped for resources, as we do see a little bit of a raid onto the base of Hera in the east. Hera has 37 gold villagers and has almost 4k gold in the bank. Like, Hera knows that his map is insane, he knows that his civ is incredibly strong, so just chill. get all the resources, you even have more relics, and then just kill him with a bunch of Chukonu. He's 100.
We've got a raid over on the west side on the wood line as well of Mr. Yo, something he doesn't want to lose here to the Cavalier. Villagers are all pulled back away from there. And man, this is what we want to see from Hera at the moment, just running on top of every resource he can. Look at this, the gold is just getting absolutely ruined. We see a counter raid up in the top corner as well, just with Mr. Yo trying to take out that town center, but there wasn't exactly a lot going on over there.
Yeah, most of the gold here in the far east of the map has been mined out. Cavalier raid, it didn't get like a ton done, but it was fine. He's going to be able to escape at least with most of his Cavalier, and you can just see so many Halberdiers and Trebuchets getting made here for Hera. And the town center is even going to survive. Like, I don't know what Yo can do to win this game at this point.
We're definitely going to see him hold on, because it's one of those things where we've seen him do some crazy comebacks and get into some absolutely absurd positions, especially being the last of a best of 5 as well. He's going to hold on till his bitter last breath with this one. He won't count it out until he knows he's out. However, Hera is starting to put the clamps on. Yo's starting to kind of take back a little bit of the middle of the section of the map here, but Yo, he needs to find a way to deal with this. Just Halberdier, Chukunu, Cavalier mix. This is an expensive combination from Hera, and the problem is he can just keep it up.
It's an expensive combination from Hera, but not if you still have 3,700 gold in the bank. Like, he is totally fine. He's got over double the military. Yo is struggling to take good fights. Yeah, the KD is pretty even, but the army is just way cheaper for Hera. He's got a massive, queue of units coming in.
Popped up entirely, so if he loses units at this point, he can just continue to replace them. And Yo's just looking for another way in at this point. He's running around the side of the map, and he can't really find anything.
Yeah, like... Hera's just going to make one big push across the center of the map, and Yo isn't going to be able to stop it. He's even pop capped at 175 right now. That's a little bit awkward. Yeah. Hera actually hasn't even gotten Bracer yet. But yeah, Elite Chukonu is even done. Like, the Cavaliers are murdering skirmishers. Oh, this is not, I think, how Yo wanted this game to go.
Not at all. It would have been really interesting to have a chat to him and see what the actual strategy was behind this. But double stable coming down in the middle for Hera as well, really wanting to kind of solidify the position. Yo is just not cool with this town center over in the corner. He goes for it again, ducks out with the majority of his army. Well, Hera just runs down the middle, takes out all the units he can, and just takes the entire map control.
Like, Hera's just going to make one big push across the middle of the map, and Yo is going to have absolutely no means of stopping it. And he's trying to build a castle on the left-hand side. Like, he's trying to do what he did in game number 1, which is, like, pull Hera apart. But like in game number 1, Hera's just too strong. He has too large a military, he has too many resources, and Yo just doesn't really have much of a chance in this game, unfortunately for him. Hera's production queue is massive. He has approximately 18 gajillion resources. And, yeah, this isn't going to happen, Yo, sorry. Yo finally starting to regroup his army towards the middle of the map as well, but Hera's already made his mark on it. He's throwing up his infrastructure buildings towards there to get his production up a little bit higher. Trebuchets are raining down absolute hell onto all the buildings there as well. Looks like we do have the Elite Step Lancers coming in. Looks like they're going to try and pick off a couple of these Trebuchets, going to try and stop any of this aggression in the middle of the map, but right now, Mr. Yo's economy is under heavy fire. He's got raiding from the Cavaliers over on the west of his base. He's got Chukunu who's literally walking into his base, killing off everything there. Light cavalry from Hera as well inside the base, just trying to do whatever damage it can. And it looks like the Cavalier have even just run inside the base now, trying to find any damage they can. It's just looking so rough at the moment for Mr. Yo, and like you were saying, Hera's just got this full queue of units. Anytime anything dies, he's popped back up, ready to go straight away, whereas Mr. Yo is down under 150 at the moment and struggling to get much higher. Yep, and he's got pretty much no gold left, and Harris can still mine more gold. Like, just the fact that Hera has so many resources with which to work, and as a Civ, he has lots of good gold units to spend them on, but he's not even having to spend the gold mostly. He's just mostly making halberdiers and light cav at this point. It's like all he even needs. He's just gonna grind down Yo, and I don't really think there's anything that our Cuban player can do to stop it.
We do have that castle in the corner starting to get taken down now as well. We do have the 2 trebuchets there from Hera. Some light cavalry just running on top of the trebuchets. There's nothing there to really protect them at the end of this one. I think we're pretty much just waiting for the GG from Yo at this point. Even sending some villagers up towards the top corner at the moment, but that's already been scouted by Hera's halberdiers. And it looks like that is game, folks. We have gone to game number 5 of the series. Hera has taken it 3-2. Some impressive play from Mr. Yo, but but it just wasn't quite enough.
Hera just barely edging out Yo in that game number 5. Well, I mean, that game wasn't remotely close, but in the series, it was very, very close. Very well played here from our 9th sneaking in player in this tournament.
The sneaky, sneaky boy from Canada. But very well played. He's definitely earned his place here overall. He was invited originally, so he's done an amazing job to get this one going.
All right. You're going to do the interview because I'm tired.
Yeah, you're tired?
Yes.
Dude, I got to cast an entire set after this. No, it'll be fine. I'm into it.
It's all good. So I think you're supposed to go over there right now.
I'll go over there right now. I'll see you in a second.
I'll say hi to chat. Hi, chat. Rip Reno. Yeah, that was such an intense series. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hi. Yeah, that was really impressive, and I will definitely get some rest after this. Yeah, that was super close. Yeah, that was a really unlucky map for you. Hi there. Hi. What time is it even? Okay, so I started casting at 2, it's 9:30, so I've been casting for 7.5 hours. Thanks. I am a wolf, indeed. Tell us a story? Well, I don't think I have time for the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise, so that's the only story I have off the top of my head. How old am I? I'm 22. Hi there. I will indeed get a little bit of some rest. We should be getting this interview in just a second, guys. Do not worry. This has been a very long series for the players as well. Indeed. I always try and sneak in the memes there. I am from the USA. Washington, D.C. That was a really great series. A little unfortunate on the last game, but it was still... That's the risk you take when you go for Regicide Fortress. And it looks like we're ready to go, guys. So here's your interview with Hera and Turkman.
Yeah, NAC, day 3. I'm with winner Hera, just coming off a win in a best-of-5 series. Went out to all 5 games as well. That was a long series. How are you feeling?
5 games, obviously it was really tiring. A couple of them even went like, not to super late game, but to late game.
Absolutely.
And I'm feeling good because that was an important series for me.
That's good, man. Very glad to hear it. Nice to see that you will be getting that win under your belt as well. Some amazing wins versus an amazing player. So you must be feeling a little bit more confident moving into the rest of the tournament now because you've got a couple of good wins behind you. First day was a little bit rough, so feeling like you've really got what it takes right now?
Yeah, so like after the first day where I lost the Viper, I watched the games over instead of like just chilling at night.
Yep.
And so I saw like how he played things and how
good man.
How I played things, and I think I did a lot of decisions better this time. But I still don't think that my mechanics are good, like here in the land.
All right. So what did you kind of take away key from that reflection? Was there anything you were doing that you were like, looked at straight away and were like, why am I behaving like this?
I think the best thing I picked up, or like the most important thing I picked up from watching that series over, is the fact that I would have an early game lead, and then I would just throw it by trying to end the game too fast. And so I realized like all I have to do when I have a lead, I was talking to Liereyy and even Viper as well a little bit.
Yeah.
Is just keep it. Like, add more TCs, boom, pick up relics, just keep my lead and keep extending it a little bit more instead of trying to like go for a forward castle and end the game. And so this time versus Yo, I didn't overcommit when I had a lead.
Absolutely. The thing I like though is we still had the commitment from the aggression that you had there. Every chance you get, it wasn't, we're just going to bail back to a couple of town centers, sit on that and hope he doesn't catch up, then push out. You were confident enough to make those players do that damage where you could, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, so like when I had the chance to move out, I was attacking, but when I wasn't going like all in. Like,
you weren't taking the risks on it.
Exactly, yeah. But I was still playing aggressive.
So the Arabia game, first game that we kind of jumped into there. Just talking between us, we, as a player, obviously a fantastic player yourself, Mr. Yo, fantastic player. Generally, I see Yo in terms of the late game, in terms of the way he actually sets up his map, the way he kind of looks at it, and the way he builds it up. I think one of the biggest points was the way he kind of took the map in that game, put a couple of castles up. Did you find that extremely hard to push into and kind of just a little bit more difficult to kind of counter?
Yeah, I think like the biggest strength of Yo, and I've said it before on stream as well, it's like he always will play the map to like the best of his ability. Like he'll always control the golds, look to control hills, and really make it like hard for me to get like easy advantages from taking like free resources or taking important hills. It's always him with the control.
Absolutely, and I guess the thing is as well, we did have a couple of little upsets. You lost a villager to a boar. There was a drush that was a little bit bad. How did it kind of affect your confidence going into those matches as well, or was it just another day? It's happened before. We've done it. Let's get there.
Bro, like the boars, I have no idea what happened. Like, I swear I clicked them every time, and like 3 or 4 times they just didn't move. And then a scout was passing by here and there as well. It was such a disaster. Like, I don't know. I think I won the game. Like the first game where I lost the villa, I think I won it. So that was good, but still, like my boars were really hard. I'm gonna have to go practice that, honestly.
Were you expecting?
That shit was too hard.
Were you expecting Yo to be kind of as out for blood as he was? I mean, obviously it's a tournament game, but every chance he kind of got to cripple you a little bit. Were you expecting that from him?
Yeah, obviously it's a tournament. Like when he saw that low HP Vill when I had a trouble with the boar, he just sat his skeleton and he had an eagle there. And I was contemplating resigning. I was like, okay, it's just one villager. So I just kept it going, but that was super annoying.
All right, let's skip ahead to the island game because I think a lot of people are going to have some questions here. We had 3 attempted landings there from Yo. What do you think happened from you? Because we know you saw the first one that kind of went there. Then we had this huge commitment from Yo. Was there anything you would do differently, kind of looking back at it now?
Like I had a huge lead in early game. Like after I killed his fish, 1 water, and I have Vikings, the better late game civ.
Yeah.
All I had to do was not let him land me, and I was literally scouting for it. And apparently he told me that I passed the transport with a galley.
You did. We were watching that on stream.
And
there was probably about 3 to 5 seconds. You would have been able to see it on the minimap. But that's the thing. All that happens. And something that we don't kind of consider as well, at this high level of age, you've got to see absolutely everything. And we have that expectation that everyone sees everything. That's not how it goes.
Yeah, like especially, like I don't really have the most experience with islands. Like I know how to play it. I know the build orders. And I'm pretty good in the early game. But once I get to like the mid and late game, I just don't really know like what to do besides like the standard just boom and grush. And so as soon as he got on my island, it was I did like a few mistakes and bad decisions. And obviously letting him get there in the first place is the biggest mistake.
Absolutely. So rocking it up in the end game there. We know what's happened with Cumans, all the nerfs, things like this. But this was Yo's pick of map as well. It's the one he wanted to play. He had the strategies for it. Were you surprised to see Cumans when you went in with Chinese, which has just been like an all-round powerful civ?
Wait, I just want to. I'll get to that, but I just want to talk.
Yeah, no, go for it.
One more point about the island game.
Yeah,
like big respect to Yo for doing like the only play he can do to come back in the game, which is the second landing. Because I scouted the first one, and then like he knew that he was dead if he just plays at standard, and then he went for the second landing and he made it work. Despite actually me getting some good Magno trades, he still managed to like hold on and win from that position. So I think he played like super well on that game.
Absolutely, I agree. The way he played that, the fact he committed so hard with the mangonels as well, even after you got the good trades there.
Yeah.
No, amazing to see that level of commitment as well.
Yeah. And so the question was Cumans on Regicide Fortress?
Yeah, Cumans into Regicide Fortress. Thoughts?
Yeah, so like I practiced with Liereyy that game because like that was the big question. Is Cumans better than Chinese on Regicide Fortress? We already saw that Mayans don't really do that well on that map. And the conclusion is that Chinese should win in most cases.
Yeah.
I think just Cumans don't have the right options in late game.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having a chat. Congratulations on the win there, guys. We do have another 2 series coming up today as well. This is only series number 2. So 3 and 4 coming up right after